NETV Sports, Nebraska's home for sports, is live from the Osborne Family Sports Complex in Hastings, Nebraska for the 26th annual 2003 Nebraska 8-Man All-Star Football Game. Hi again, everybody. I'm Kevin Kugler, and welcome to Hastings, Nebraska for what we think will be a very fun afternoon. For some of these kids, this will be the final time that they put on the uniforms. For others, college football awaits. But one thing we know for sure, it's going to be a very emotional and we hope very exciting afternoon of football here from Hastings, and we're really excited to be here. Adrian Fiala is with me, and Aid, we kicked off the football season 2 weeks ago in Scottsbluff. We had a whale of a football game. I hope we have more today.
Absolutely, Kevin. Wide open football game, a lot of trick plays, lots of things you like to see in an all-star game. But today, the 8-man format really dictates a lot of running. Maybe not a lot of passing, but a lot of running. So I'm sure we'll see that today.
Well, I know you always like to spotlight those big guys in the trenches. Talk about what you see down there today.
Well, that's where the games are won and lost, as we like to say in football. Andy Verbka, the East head coach, likes to run the football. No doubt about that. He's got the offensive personnel to do that. Big offensive line in the middle, led by Preston Crumley at 290 pounds. Again, they're going to try to counter that big defense on the other side of the West team. Ken Jensen's team has two nose guards at 295, Ben Homestead and also Max Korb at 270. Those two guys are key today to stopping that running game from the East. And then you let the linebackers clean up and see what happens after that. The linebackers, my favorite people.
I know you love them a lot. The third member of our crew today is Larry Putney. He made the trip with us to Hastings. And Larry, what are you going to be watching today?
Well, thanks, Kevin. Actually, the quarterbacks from the West squad, Ken Jensen, also excited about those. He can really give the East two very distinct looks, and it begins with Jason Conant, the South Dakota State recruit, 6'2 quarterback. And as Andy Verbka said, he can throw the ball a country mile, so look for them when he's in the game to go deep. The other quarterback is Tyler Kester, and when Tyler's in the game, they'll run a little bit of option. So two different looks that the West will give the East, but Andy Verbka said if there's one thing or one phase of the game he's very confident in, it's his defense.
Well, we'll look forward to that today, Larry. We'll look forward to hearing from you throughout the day as well. The kickoff of the 26th annual 8-Man All-Star Football Game live from Hastings in a moment on NETV Sports.
Oh, it's story time. We'll read the story about the big dog. Yes, on the way to school.
Always there when you need us. Nebraska Public Power District, together with your local public power utility.
Programming on NETV is provided in part by Education Quest Foundation. For 16 years, Education Quest has offered free college planning services. These services include scholarship searches, student loan information, college selection, and help with completing financial aid applications. Education Quest is located in Kearney, Lincoln, and Omaha. Appointments are available at 800-666-3721.
And welcome back to Hastings, Nebraska. You see the wind. It is a factor today in this game. The wind whipping at 20 miles an hour, 77 degrees, partly cloudy. High humidity, 75%. We have had rain on and off throughout the morning and early afternoon here in Hastings, and we will wait and see if the sky stays dry throughout the rest of the afternoon as we get this 26th annual 8-Man All-Star Football Game set to kick off here from Hastings, Nebraska. It looks like a contrast in styles. One team will try to establish the run. The other will certainly try to go to the air. There's your officials. The referee is Dave Shanks, Scott Kistler, Tom Northrup, Randy Sadoff, and Ed Jarosik, your officials today for this 26th annual 8-Man All-Star Football Game. Look at the East squad there. The East will be in the golden jerseys today. The West will be in the green jerseys with the gold numerals as we get set to kick this game off in just a moment.
Looking at Tom Wenhoff from Coleridge, and he's got a nice distinction, Kevin. He holds a state record as far as field goals go. For most field goals in a game, he kicked 3 in one game. He did that twice, and also in a career 15. He will be the kickoff man here this afternoon for Andy Verbka right there, the head coach for the East squad. Great guy to talk to. A lot of fun to be around. Andy Verbka went to high school at Shelby High School and played for John O'Brien, who was the first coach of the 8-Man All-Star Game back in 1978, a long time ago.
Mastny will get ready to kick it off for the East All-Stars. He'll at least signal the kickoff. Here comes the approach and the kick It's a high kick. It'll go through the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Good start for the East All-Stars as they boom it through the end zone off the foot of Tom Wemhoff.
That's some pop in that leg. We just saw it. Again, the career leader in field goals, state of Nebraska, and we just showed why. Good strong leg.
The West All-Stars with the football first. A good look at Jason Conant, the 6'2", 200-pound quarterback from Spencer Napier High School. He's headed to South Dakota State in the always tough North Central Conference, and SDSU will be going Division I AA in a couple of years, so he'll have a chance to be part of that. But a broken play on first down. Conant trying to break free. He cannot get away, though, from Ryan Sherman, who was the first guy to really wrap him up, but a lot of yellow jerseys back there. Take a look at the offense for the West All-Stars. Jason Conant, Brad Marcy, Jeff Feynman, or Bryce Johnson, Chris Williams, your starters for the West. Up front on the line, Isaac Hazing, Ben Gossman, and Logan Brodeen. On second down and 13 to go, Conant wants to throw. A wobbler out there. The catch is not made. Out of bounds, going towards the sideline. It was Chris Williams, but he could not keep a foot in.
Good coverage there on the pattern as Conant delivered the ball. A little bit shaky into the wind. Wind blowing, as Kevin told you a moment ago, about 20 miles an hour out of the south, and kind of throwing right into that wind. He passed for 1,100, just over 1,100 yards last year. As we saw a moment there ago, Cole Richardson on the coverage. But again, Conant, big, tall, rangy kid. 6'2", 200, moves well. He looks taller than that out there, Kevin, than 6'2", but good rangy kid, good arm.
Third down, 12 yards to go from the 13-yard line. Conant in trouble. Sherman pressuring him, and it's incomplete. Big-time pressure off the edge from Ryan Sherman, the defensive end from Coleridge High School.
Sherman coming in untouched from that from the bottom here. You'll see it in a moment as Conant feels the pressure. He hears that pressure from the backside. Good tackle by Ryan Sherman. 6'4", 205. Played for the Bulldogs last year at Coleridge. They were district champs. Good pressure that time. So now, Kevin, the kicking game is going to go straight into that 20-mile-an-hour wind also.
Justin Hans will go back deep to return for the East. Ready to punt it away is Tyler Kester. He's a good one. He'll walk on at Nebraska to kick, but look at the wind. Take hold of that ball and push it out of bounds. Great field position at the 33-yard line of the West All-Stars, and that's where the East will start. And let's look at the starters for the East All-Stars on the offensive side of the football. At quarterback, it'll be Elliot Gautreau, TJ Bond at fullback, Chase Rohrer at running back, Justin Hans or Jeff Segrud, your starting tight end. On the offensive line, Dustin Fricke, Scott Crook, and Preston Crumley. Those are the three gentlemen up front that Adrian spoke about at the top of the show. They're big and they're very strong and good. Elliot Gautreau. They'll try it on the play fake over the middle, man wide open. The catch is made, and down to the 3-yard line goes Justin Hans. First and goal for the East.
Well, you cross them up. Andy Burka, he talks about, well, we're going to run the football. They run play action here, and bingo, right down the middle. They were working on this play in the pregame as you see Elliot Gautreau just deliver the ball to a wide open Justin Hans deep over the middle. And again, watching for that run up inside there, Kevin, and bingo, go up top and almost put it in the end zone.
First down and goal movement along the defensive line of the West, and give Gautreau credit. He changed his cadence a little bit, and that got the guys up front over anxious, a little anxious, trying to jump across, and it's offsides against the defense. Let's look at those defensive guys for the West All-Stars. As you look along the defensive line, Ira Sponel, Ben Homestead, and Travis Herman, the starters on the D-line. Backs and linebackers, Dan Pelster, Lane Ford, Tyler Kester, Tom Hoyt, and Marcus Holland in your backfield for the West defense. Second down and goal from the 3-yard line, or rather first and goal from the 3 after the penalty. They'll split the backs in the backfield this time, and the give going over the left side and lunging across into the end zone is Chase Rohrer, and he's got it for the touchdown. Let's see. No signal officially yet, and it is a touchdown. I think the officials were a little confused by the yard markers there. He was spotting it inside the goal line, but it is a touchdown, and the East jumps out early.
Talked to Dave Shank about that earlier on. He said they will have to adjust. Good block, good lead block here by TJ Bond, 19 right there. Just enough to give Rohrer just a little bit of an opportunity to get into the end zone. Again, sealed on that left side, Hans and Crumley. And then a good block by T.J. Bond, number 19 out of Shickley, headed to Nebraska Wesleyan this fall. Andy Verbka looking on to his ball club.
Andy Verbka, who very rarely during his years as the head coach at High Plains would go for an extra point attempt, but he's got Wemhoff up there, a very good kicker, and Wemhoff drills it through to make it 7-0 in favor of the East All-Stars.
Line drive shot. Those are the kind that are somewhat susceptible to being blocked, but it got by and got through the uprights. That's all that counts. Wemhoff, good strong leg, as we talked about earlier.
Well, already the wind showing that there's a factor involved, because the wind creating the field position situation with that short punt, and the East took advantage. They lead it 7-0. Larry Putney's down on the sideline. Larry?
Kevin, that's exactly what I was going to say. Right before the game, Andy Verbka talked about his strategy in the flip, and they wanted to defer if they won the flip. They did win the flip, and rather than taking the ball, they wanted the win, so they took the win, and it really paid off.
No question about it. Having that wind gave the East the great field position and a chance to have the 7-0 lead.
That was
the 2003 Nebraska 8-man All-Star football game on NETV Sports is made possible in part by the financial contributors to Nebraskans for Public Television. You too can help support your statewide network and become a member of NPTV by calling toll-free 800-634-6788. You can also log on and join on our network website at mynptv.org. Click membership and follow the prompts. If you're enjoying our coverage of the 8-man All-Star game, join NPTV today.
Hey, go.
Well, 7-0. The East All-Stars draw first blood, and now the West will have to try to answer. They'll start from their 15-yard line after the kick again goes into the end zone.
Once again, a good job by Wemhoff, Tom Wemhoff, to put it actually beyond the regular end zone stripe line there, as the West now lines it up.
And movement on the line again. This time looked like on the right side of the offensive line. Maybe Chris Williams with a little flinch, and it is going to be a penalty against the West All-Stars. As you look at Ken Jensen, by day the head coach at Spencer Napier High School, but on his weekends he coaches All-Star games, including this one. He coached here last year as an assistant and is back again, this time as the head coach of the West.
Attended Kansas State and also Midland Lutheran College in Fremont.
First down and 15 on the option play. Conant looking for some running room, and he's brought down about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage by Justin Mastny. Gain of 6 now for Conant, and it'll be 2nd and 9. Now let's look at the defense for the East All-Stars. The starters today for the East: Ryan Sherman, Dustin Fricky, and Tyson Misek along that defensive line. The backs and linebackers: Cole Richardson, Brady Handquist, Justin Mastny, Eric Weeman, and Tom Schweidhelm. 9:15 remaining first quarter. 7-0 the East leading. On the toss, Johnson trying to find some running room, and not a lot there. Leading the charge, among others, Eric Weeman, who we saw in the state championships. He was all over the place for Howells High School. He gets in the bottom of that pile there.
And Tyson Misek also from Shelby. Good speed and great strength by Misek. He was in the backfield, sort of caused the confusion in the backfield, caused the ball carrier to cut back up the inside to let his pals help out in there. But again, great job, number 47, Misek.
Third down, 9.5 yards for the first. Conant, quick throw out. The pass is overthrown, intended for his fullback Brad Marcy, but he was thrown into a field of golden jerseys, and it's 4th down.
Eric Weeman out of the linebacker spot, Kevin, that time. Weeman headed to South Dakota on a football scholarship this fall, but he was right there on the coverage, and Weeman at 6'4" and 210. Watch this. He's tough to get the football over. Watch this. He's going to try to touch it over, but Weeman is 6'4", and again, that's a big linebacker out there and doing a great job for his team right now, the East team.
Bobbled snap, has time, and gets off a line drive kick. Much better punt into the wind, and it takes a great roll for the West. It'll trickle down and out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So a very good punt this time for Tyler Kester, and the West All-Stars push the East back on this second punt.
Kept the ball down, and a wind like today, you've got to do that. Just kick the ball away from the receiver. You don't want to return on a punt like that, obviously. And also try to keep the ball down under the wind if you can. And he did exactly that. And again, put the West team, or check at the East team, back around their own 10-yard line, just beyond the 10.
Elliot Gautreau will bring his team out. Line him up with the back stack behind him in the eye. First down and 10 from just inside the 10-yard line. Gautreau on the toss, fumble on the play. Ball still loose, and it pops out of bounds. Did they recover before it went out? No, they did not. It was scooped up by Marcus Holan, but the officials say he was out of bounds before he scooped it up. And earlier today, we talked with Andy Verbka about his quarterback, Elliot Gautreau.
Elliot's just versatile. He's got
big, tall kid. He can run. He's got a great arm. He's got a rocket for an arm, and real intelligent. I mean, intelligent. He picks things up. He's going to the Air Force Academy, so it tells you how intelligent he is. But he's just a great athlete and great leader. He was voted one of the captains, so I look for good things out of Elliott.
Good gain up the middle on the dive play by Brady Handquist, and that'll give a first down to the East All-Stars.
Excellent to see Gautreaux with that opportunity, Kevin, going to the Air Force Academy. Said he's going to study meteorology there and also get involved in, in flying and that kind of thing. But just a great opportunity for that young man. Wish him well.
7-0 the East leading midway through this first quarter in the 8-man All-Star game from Hastings. Gautreaux with time to throw down the sideline, well overthrown and incomplete. T.J. Bond was out there on the coverage for the West All-Stars. Lane forward, but that pass sailed over everyone's head.
Smart operation back there by Gautreaux. Just let it go, overthrow everybody. Just again, don't give the defense, that is, an opportunity to make a play. So he just winged it down there, and again, way over the head of everybody. Good blocking up front by that line last play, but also excellent coverage by the West team.
2nd down and 10 from the 22-yard line. Up the middle, huge hit. Oh, what a stick laid on T.J. Bond out there, and nowhere to go as the linebackers sweeping over Marcus Holan and Tom Hoyt, though, the guy that brought the wood.
He works right off the nose guard right there. As we saw him, number 18, he's working off Ben Homestead. We talked about in the early part of the show here, Kevin, about how the nose guard is so important to stopping that offense today. He needs to jam it up there just like he did to free the backers up, and that was Hoyt, the linebacker, that cleaned it up.
3rd down and 12. Gautreaux, a lot of time to throw. Finds his man right at the first down stick, and that is complete to Jared Stutzman. And Stutzman has a first down for the East All-Stars. Nice pattern and a nice throw by Gautreaux.
Great job by Stutzman, who knew exactly where that stick was. He broke his pattern off about a yard beyond the stick, came back a little bit, and he had the first down with no trouble at all. Caught 30 balls last year for 516 yards and 14 touchdowns. Jared Stutzman from Friend, Nebraska.
Look at Elliott Gautreaux again with that throw. He threw for 839 yards for Friend a year ago and 21 touchdowns passing. Gautreaux showing a little running ability here as he breaks free of another tackle, and a saving tackle made out there in the open field by Travis Herman. If Herman doesn't wrap him up, Gautreaux's going to score.
He's moving if that doesn't happen, Kevin. Just a good tough running here. Extra. You see Hoyt right there trying to blitz, coming onto the inside. Just got kind of shaded out by the blocker there. And now Gautreaux almost breaks it loose, gets it up past midfield, and the East again is on the move.
East already leading 7-0, 6.5 remaining in this first quarter. On the toss. Running room for Kurtenbach, and Kurtenbach showing good strength, but he was hog-tied right at the 27-yard line by Tyler Kester, and Kester would not let go. Mark it at the 26. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, Ken Jensen, the head coach of the West, was concerned about defensive tempo for his ball club. As you see, a nice cutback right there. Then good backside pursuit. Tyler Kester on the backside pursuit making the tackle, but he wanted to make sure his defense established a tempo. So far, the tempo has been on the other side of the football. That has been on the east side of the football.
East dominating here early. Up the middle, T.J. Bond with running room, and Bond near a first down, driven down there right at the stick by Dan Pelster. Lane Ford also in on the stop for the West All-Stars.
Helmets all bedecked with all kinds of, there's T.J. Bond, Palmer, Nebraska. Mentioned his name a number of times here early in the ballgame. Headed to Wesleyan this fall, study engineering, also play football. But all the players exchange those decals on their helmets, and looks like a Christmas tree in June most of the time.
On 3rd and short, Gautreaux just riding behind that big and good offensive line, and on short yardage, Gautreaux takes it himself for the first down inside the 20-yard line. Go behind Crumley, Crook, and Fricky, and good things are going to happen for this East team.
Yeah, you got Crumley at 290, Crook at 230, and Fricky at 220. Average out with that 290 and right at about 246 across that middle three. So that's a big, strong offensive line, and that again was what Ken Jensen was concerned about to start the ball game, and they're moving the football.
7-0 East on the move again. Gautreaux to throw. Under pressure, gets rid of it, and incomplete. Intended out there for Jeff Seagren. Good coverage by Dan Pelster, and the pass is incomplete, 2nd down.
Pelster out of Elgin Pope John. And play action to the right, and again, good pressure by the defense, but Pelster right there. But awfully tough for that pass to be completed, but Pelster made sure that did not happen. Pelster headed for the Army for a couple of years, come back and go to college at UNK.
Second down and 10. Gautreaux on the toss, looking for room. Kurtenbach takes the corner. Kurtenbach across the 15 and down near the 12-yard line. Gain of almost 8 yards on second down. Good tough running by Nick Kurtenbach out of Lindsay Holy Family, who's going to walk on and try to play in the Big 12 at KU.
Watch the quarterback block here, 43. Kaboom right there. That's a great block, Kevin. And then it allowed the runner, Kurtenbach, to get outside and pick up maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 more yards on the play. Nick Kurtenbach out of Lindsay Holy Family. He's going to walk on at Kansas this year. Rushed for over 1,600 yards last fall.
You talk about the block by Gautreaux. He's a big guy, 6'3", near 200 pounds. Showed that he can level a hit from time to time. 3rd and 3. He's in a lot of trouble. It gets away from 2. He will not get away from the 3rd as Greg Iverson finally brings down Gautreaux back at the 23-yard line.
3 green jerseys had a shot that time. I think it was Ira Spinell here that had the first shot, and he was kneeling on the ground after the play was over, looking at his hands like, how could they fit? It is indeed Spinell, that is, headed to UNL this fall. Spinell out of Anselmo Myrna, and he just could not.
Downstairs we go to Larry Putney.
Guys, Andy Verbka's decided to kick a field goal, so what you see right now is the officials moving the ball up 10 yards because obviously with the shortened field, you move it up 10 yards, so they'll go for the field goal here.
Man, that's a good. I was looking at that. That's a good deal for the kicker.
Man.
Yeah, the end zones actually are 10 yards shorter, so again they move it up. As Wemoff certainly has the leg and has the distance.
Will be a long shot, though. They'll spot it down at the 31 on a regulation field. So you're talking a 41-yarder on a regulation field, and he nails it. Oh, my. Wow. With plenty of room to spare, Tom Wemhoff drills the field goal to give the East a 10-0 lead.
We'll have to check and see if that's an 8-man record, which I suspected it would be. His range, he kicked one as long as 45 yards. Actually, a couple that were that length in his career. Again, not surprised to see him do it, especially with that wind blowing at his back for about 20 yards. There it is.
His career long's a 45-yarder, and he got this. He would have had 45 easy.
Easy. You know, he used to be a straight-up kicker, and working with one of his coaches, they made him a soccer-style kicker, improved his accuracy and his length. Certainly happy that he had done that. Wemoff, again, 2 times he was a first-team All-State running back.
Nebraska ETV takes you back to our American heritage as we present the 2003 Nebraska High School Rodeo Finals, this year live from the Adams County Fairgrounds here in Hastings. These young high school athletes are winding up their high school rodeo season and competing to qualify to the National Rodeo Finals. You won't want to miss any of the exciting action. It's the 2003 Nebraska High School Rodeo, Sunday, June 29th, right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports. You can see, Abe, what you do when you take a good wind and you put a good kicker with that wind at his back. Wemhoff really showing off the leg here in the first quarter.
Absolutely. You know, Kevin, it's something we really don't see a lot of in all-star games. You don't really see a good kicking game in a lot of all-star games. But today, both teams have pretty good putters, and also Wemhoff with the field goals.
Back to throw. Completes it down the sideline. Running room out there for Chris Williams, and he stepped out of bounds at the 27-yard line. It's a first down, but oh, it could have been so much more if Williams is able to walk that tightrope down the side.
Straight drop. See it here as Williams coming across your screen there. Gets to the outside, but he's going to get step out of bounds right there. Not sure exactly where that stripe was, but hey, he's just heading upfield. Chris Williams, 6'1", as you see, from Greeley-Walbach, headed to Wayne State this year. Plays some baseball.
27-yard line, first down, and 10 yards to go for the West. Conant, he'll run it himself. He's got a blocker out in front. Conant with some good running room, finally driven down, along with Cole Richardson on top. Got some help underneath as well from Wyman.
Faked the dive on the left-hand side there. He wanted to take it up off the right, go out to the right, but again, everything jammed up by yellow jerseys there, led by Ryan Sherman on the left side over there, along with the linebacker, as we talked about earlier, Eric Weeman. Those two guys jamming up the left side. They head down to second down.
Second down and 4. Fumbled snap picked up by Conant, and there's the strength of Conant. That play could have been negative yardage, and he makes a yard on the play, driven down by a whole host of tacklers, and leading the charge for the East All-Stars was Cole Richardson, but Conant, good strength to make positive yards.
Well, he wants to show well, Kevin. He's, you know, all of his brothers, 5 brothers played in this game earlier. His brothers, Corey and Scott and Kyle and John and Jason. Jason obviously out here. John not playing today. He's playing basketball, but wants to show well. There's a family tradition here as the play gets ready to go here. 3rd and 1, 2.
Handoff goes up the middle. First down yardage for the West All-Stars, and a good, strong run by Brad Marcy, the big fullback from Rushville. And earlier today, Ken Jensen chatted about Jason Conant.
First of all, it's going to be, you know, he knows what we're doing. So everything we've done, we just kind of brought down here. We maybe changed a little bit of terminology and such. But Jason's going to know what's going on. He's going to have some good kids around him, obviously. So it's going to make his job a lot easier. He's got a strengths overall. He's got a good arm. He's a pretty good runner. He might not be the fastest kid, but he's a powerful runner too. Once we get him, if we can get him around the corner, and like I said, to throw the ball, I think Jason's probably one of the best quarterbacks in D1, and that's obviously a biased opinion, but that's what I think.
Ken Jensen, of course, the head coach of Jason Conant at Spencer Napier, very familiar.
Kevin, 1,100 yards, 1,100 plus yards, plus 19 touchdowns. So yeah, in basically a running type of football, 8-man football, that's really very good.
Give goes straight up the middle. Conant hands it off, and not a lot of running room this time up the middle for Brad Marcy, as that East defense stiffens in the middle of the line there, and a 2nd down and 3 coming up for the West.
Brad Marcy from Rushville, excellent wrestler, 3 times at the state meet. Just taking that power over that left side behind Ben Gossman and Logan Brodeen over there on the left side. We're just running power football thus far. 2nd and 3.
Conant keeps, and Conant has a 1st down for the West All-Stars. Keep those chains moving. That's what the West is doing. They've gotten a little more conservative, and they're finding some running room up the middle, despite the size advantage that's had by the East.
Faking the ball, at least an attempted fake to go to the right side, and they're just finding a hole, picking a hole, looking for the open spot. They're trying to go away from Preston Crumley, 57. He's a big guy we talked about from Partington at 6'5" and 290.
Conant on 1st down, rolling left, pressure comes, has a man out there, it's incomplete. Wanted Eric Brooks, and here comes the flag. Brooks, the intended receiver, on the coverage, Cole Richardson, and a flag came in late, but it did come.
Pressure coming from the defense also. Tyson Misek on the pressures. You see the call there by Randy Shanks. Pressure's going to come here. 47 is Misek, and again, he just barely misses as far as a score-up tackle, but there was a knockdown in the backfield, and that'll account for the pass interference and move the ball upfield 15 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Did get word that the 41-yard field goal by Tom Wemhoff is a record at the 8-man All-Star game.
I thought it would be. Don't have the records here in front of us, unfortunately, but felt pretty sure that it would be.
We know one of them now, and it's Tom Wemhoff's 41-yard field goal today. So we're 1 ahead of where we were a few minutes ago. 10-0 East, but the West move. Johnson trying to get around the corner, and Weeman started to hit, and then it was finished off by Tom Schweedhelm. What a team, and Bryce Johnson will remember that stick, or maybe he won't.
Schweedhelm at just 200 pounds, and Weeman at 210, but watch this here. Boom and boom. That's double your pleasure, so to speak. Double your pleasure if you're the hitter. But wow, what a couple of big hits right there as Weeman continues to shine here in the 1st half.
We are at the end of 1 quarter in Hastings, Nebraska. It's been the East so far, but the West on the move. East leading 10-0 after 1 in Hastings.
The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of nothing else but me. It's wall to wall with walruses. Brace yourself for the mysterious, never-before-explored underwater world of walruses. Toothwalkers, giants of the Arctic ice.
Sunday night at 7 Central Time on any TV. This is what you had to say about the coverage of the NCAA Regional Baseball game on any TV sports. Thank you for your support of collegiate baseball on any TV, Nebraska's home for sports. You're watching NETV and NETV Digital Television, a service of Nebraska Educational Telecommunications.
Second down and 9. Conant lobbing it towards the corner of the end zone. The catch is made, but out of bounds. Great catch made by Chris Williams, just a little too far at the back of the end zone.
Kevin, they ran a cross over there, a deep cross in that deep right zone. See that Conant, right, or check it, Williams crossing to the outside. The receiver, the inside receiver, came to the inside and then just barely steps out of bounds.
Larry Putney's got Tom Wemhoff down on the sidelines.
Guys, Tom just kicked a 41-yarder, a new 8-man All-Star game record. How far can you kick it in this one?
Well, I'd say with this win, I could probably kick it maybe 60.
Really?
Yeah, probably 60. I've kicked 55 in practice, and that was just a nice, calm day.
So what do you just have to focus on hitting it easy when that one's behind you like that?
Well, just don't try and overpower it. I mean, if you try and kick it hard, I mean, you just lose your focus. You got to just stay calm and just kick it, I guess.
That was a nice 41-yard boot. Did you know it when you left your foot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can just tell when it goes. I mean,
great kick.
Hey, thanks.
Guys, back to you.
That's the key. Don't try to kick it too hard. Like hitting a golf ball. Every time you try to smack it, you know, let it rip, you hit it where I hit it, about 20 miles right, or where Kevin hits it, about 20 miles left. Even with new clubs.
When I just swing, I hit it 20 miles left. Did not have to be smacking it.
But just relax and kick through it. You know, keep the head down and kick through it. That's what he did, and he's got a good strong leg. And most times you're going to be successful if you don't try to overpower the football.
Third down and 10 from the 15-yard line. The West trying to avoid a stall. They have the wind at their back here. Trailing 10-0. Conant. The lob on the fade to the corner, and it's tipped away at the last minute. Eric Brooks went up for it. Great coverage by Brady Handquist, and he knocked it away.
Just trying to touch it in there, but excellent defense by Handquist out of High Plains. As you see, kind of lifting the football up. It's one-on-one. Whoever wants the ball the most usually comes away with it. That time the defender, Handquist, takes care of business, headed to Nebraska this fall. Again, out of High Plains, and loves to play the guitar. So he can cover guys in the backfield and sing Kumbaya all together.
Hard to cover with that guitar in your hand. 32-yard field goal attempt for Tyler Kester to give the West their first points of the day. And it's blocked right up the middle. It goes. The block. The ball is loose, and this play is dead. Kester's kick blocked coming right up the middle.
I think it was Masney.
Was it Masney that got it?
I think so. I saw a 9 come flashing through there. Justin Masney.
Tyson Misek also in there in the middle of that line.
39?
It is.
Looks like it to me.
Justin Masney is the guy that got it.
Howell's Nebraska product, state champs last year. He was actually part of 3 state championship teams, which is really incredible when you think about it. You're really fortunate to be on 1 state champion, and Masney and his Howell's team Bobcats, part of 3, Kevin. So what a job well done by Mike Spears and his group up there in Howell's.
Now they move the ball back 10 yards again to reset the possession to the 8-man field. Remember, they moved it up 10 yards so that the kick would correspond with where the goalposts are. They're back again now.
You not only have to be a football referee, but a mathematician to call these games. Boy, good job by these guys, Dave Shank and his crew.
Not an easy gig. Mitch Happ now the quarterback for the East All-Stars. First time we've seen Mitch today. The toss to Chase Rohr, and Rohr around the corner. He'll take it across the 25 down to the 27-yard line. Good gain of 6 yards on first down for the Bloomfield product, Chase Rohr.
Again, running that toss sweep to the left, and T.J. Ford again, or T.J. Bond, that is, on the block. Kicks out the corner on support, and that allows a good gain, almost a 7, maybe 8-yard game. Call it second and, what is it, 3?
I'd say 3. Second and 3 for the first down We wind our way through this second quarter. 10-0 East with the lead and the ball. Happ on the delay gives to Rohr. Rohr in some trouble, and down he goes in the arms of Dan Pelster. He'll suffer a loss of 2 on the play. Pelster with great penetration into that backfield.
Good support to come up again. These people on the outside, Pelster in particular this time, supporting on the outside. It's really interesting. If we watch the lineup, you know, Homestead is the nose guard. Watch the middle linebacker. The middle linebacker is Hoyt, Tom Hoyt, number 18. Watch the way he lines up here. Let's see if he does it. He's just kind of hanging right on the back end of help. Well, he's not doing it this time. Last play he did, he was hanging right off the back end of the nose guard there. It's good pressure coming again.
Throw by Happ is tipped away and incomplete. Lane Ford jumped up to get it. It was intended for T.J. Bond, but Happ led him too far, and it's 4th down. The East will have to punt.
Combination of a throw being caught up in the wind, pressure by the defense here. You see it right there as Pelster coming in. And now Lane Ford almost intercepts the ball. They threw it into double coverage and again into this strong wind that kept the football up.
4th down coming, and we'll see how Scott Crook, the punter for the East, handles this wind in his face at about 20 miles an hour. Andy Verbka looking on as Crook gets set to punt it away. And that one, decent punt into the wind, bounces at the 30-yard line, and it's down at the 29-yard line. West will take over 1st down and 10.
Cody Millard downing the ball.
All-Star football game from Hastings is brought to you in part by NPPD. Always there when you need us. By Bryan LGH Medical Center, the first name in heart care. By ACE, the Public Alliance for Community Energy, your hometown choice for natural gas. And by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, community grants, and college planning services. 10 minutes remaining in this second quarter as we begin another drive for the West All-Stars, trying to bounce back from a 10-0 deficit. Tyler Kester lines it up in the I formation, backs behind him. And Kester, the quarterback, gives right up the middle. Bryce Johnson looking for some running room. And not a whole lot there. Actually on the carry, not Johnson. Yes, it is Bryce Johnson. Had the jersey tucked up there for a minute. Thought we were looking at somebody else, but it is Bryce Johnson who gets about 4 yards.
Straight isolation play right up the middle, trying to isolate on the backer over there. Again, that's number 45, Schweedhelm, just stacking up the middle. But they're trying to isolate on a backer and move him out of the way and get some running room. But again, the defense just stops at dead cold right there at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down, 9 yards to go for the West All-Stars. Kester to throw. Down the sideline, and the pass is tipped and almost caught on the tip. Jeff Bayman coming down the sideline, nearly caught it on the tip, but just couldn't hang on.
Trying to get the ball into Chris Williams over there. Straight drop back and pretty good coverage right here. There it is. It's 23. That's Cole Richardson on the coverage. Tips the ball up, and Bayman streaking down that far sideline almost comes up with it. And you know what? If he hangs onto it, he's over here in the end zone to our left. Andy Verbka, a little instruction here to his one of his players.
Kester will punt it away. 4th down. Has the wind at his back this time. Gets it straight up the elevator shaft. Trying to avoid the block. He went straight up. Gets a good roll. In fact, a very good roll for the West All-Stars, and his average will look fine, but that one went straight up in the air, straight down, and a flag down on the field back at the 24.
Looked like Dustin Fricke came in from the middle, Kevin, and bumped him when he got off the kick. Didn't get any part of the football on the play.
And it is running into the kicker against the East All-Stars. So back it goes again. We will redo this 4th down play. 10-0 the East leading over the West here. And let's see if we can see any of the contact on Kester.
Well, he did bang him, no doubt about it. He got blocked. Of course, if he's legally blocked into him, it's still a penalty. If it's illegally blocked him, it's not a penalty. But looked like he was blocked legally. It's Dustin Fricke out of Sterling. Big youngster playing a great game up front there.
and it will be declined. So they've declined to re-kick it, and Larry Putney is down on the field with Andy Verbka.
Let's listen in and hear what Andy's going to call.
They know what we're going to run. So.
What are you running, Andy? Can't you tell us?
Yeah, we're going to try to run a power sweep to the right and pass and try to flood the zone. We're going to throw the back short and the end long. So.
You know, that big thud that the state heard was jaws hitting the floor when you threw on the first game.
Well, I know it. I knew. I had everybody in the state knowing we were going to run the ball. We threw it on first down. So.
Let's watch the play.
Now we'll see if it works the way he drew it up. Mitch Happ, the quarterback here on 1st down and 10 from the 15. Pressure comes and he's blindsided. Oh, what a hit leveled on him by Marcus Holand. And Happ never saw him coming, Abe.
Not at all, Kevin. And terrific work by Holand going to the Marine Corps this fall. Watch there, 44, kaboom right there, coming from the backside, just untouched. And Kevin, the defense was stacked up that time, pretty close to the line of scrimmage. That play was designed. If he could have had the time to throw it, might have gone for good yardage. But Holand had a different design on the play.
On 2nd and 14, back at the 11-yard line. The toss this time to Tom Wemhoff. Nick Kurtenbach, rather, gets the carry, and Kurtenbach on the far side, out just to the 11-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Good job done by the West defense to string it out.
White makes a good play over there on the tackle, but again, Holand took care of the blocking up front to free up everybody.
Andy, what are we going to see here?
We're going to throw a left-in screen. We're going to sprint out right, throw it back to the left in. Hopefully they'll bite on our backs going out of there like we've been doing. And
they're really bringing everybody.
Yeah, the key will be time, if we can get some time.
Andy's going to kick Larry out of there if things don't go better with Larry standing next to him. And here they come again. Happ sets it up nicely, though, and there's some room for Hans to run. Hans down the sideline. Look at the speed. He's going to go all the way in for the score. Justin Hans, touchdown.
They bid on it big time, but also it almost was disaster to start the play, as you saw Hans streaking down that far sideline. He has tremendous speed. Good. The receiver last year caught 30 passes for 791 yards. But watch it here. It almost ends up in disaster right there. Pressure coming, but now the convoy is out there. They have a lot of people. Pick up the number there. That was number 21. That was Trent Stevens on the block on that corner out there, Kevin, that allowed him to get going. And Hans, after that, it was just academic. Guy has great speed and moving down the sidelines. Good punt returner, good kickoff man last year. 7 touchdowns on the special teams.
Wemhoff's extra point attempt into the win this time. Same result, right down the middle. And it's 17-0. The East All-Stars leading the West. The officials sorting it out. There's a flag down right at the goal line. A lot of movement along that line before the kick came, and the officials will sort this out. It's a personal foul, roughing the kicker against the West All-Stars. And that penalty will be later assessed. It's 17-0, the East leading the West, and a very impressive big play, and 2 big plays through the air for Andy Verbka's East squad.
Really surprising when you see that sort of thing, but again, that's what he wanted to do, cross everybody up.
The 2003 football season continues on July 19th as Nebraska ETV presents the Nebraska Shrine Bowl Classic live from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. It's the state's top football athletes competing in this annual Gridiron Classic. Don't miss the Nebraska Shrine Bowl coming up in July right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports.
At 59 yards.
Larry Putney's down on the field. Larry.
Boy, great catch and run. Thank you. You had to have an idea that was going to work given the previous 2 plays. They just brought everybody.
Oh, yeah. Bricky got out in front of me, and he just blasted that guy, and there's nobody in front of me. Oh, man. We're ready to kick some more butt out there.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, they call him Jutter. And Jutter ready to kick some more butt out there. Good play for Justin Hans. 17-0, the East leading the West here. And the kick into the wind and into the end zone. Good kick by Wemhoff, who's really showing off an impressive leg. Now he's going into the wind, no change.
Well, I tell you what, we knew he had a great strong leg beforehand, and now it's confirmed, kicking again into that very strong wind out of the south right into his face, and puts it beyond the end stripe there.
Tomorrow night at 7 Central Time, nature explores the toothwalker walrus of the Arctic. This rarely documented animal is used for its hide and provides meat for the Inuit people of Canada. Nature goes underwater to show rare footage of this great walrus. Don't miss Toothwalkers, Giants of the Arctic Ice on Nature tomorrow night at 7 Central Time on NETV. Not a lot of running room there for the quarterback Tyler Kester, and it'll be second down.
Watch Tyson Mysick here, 47. Plays off the block, checks the quarterback. There he is. He misses him right there, but he slowed him down. And, of course, that allowed all these other yellow jerseys to come up and make the play. Mysick out of Shelby, 4'7" in the 40. And, again, benches 360 pounds.
Second down and 9 from the 16-yard line. Right up the middle, protecting that ball is Bryce Johnson. And Johnson a yard and a half shy of the first down out to the 24-yard line, where the West will have it 3rd and a short 2.
Logan Brodeen and Vogel over there on that left side block. And see the good blocks over there blocking down on the play. And then here comes Bryce Johnson on the carry. And, you know, as a defensive man, when you see that fullback coming up there with the ball, you know, cradle like that, and he's kind of snorting away and screaming at you and that kind of thing, it's a little scary down there at times. But, again, a good job down there by Handquist to come up and make the play.
Closing in on 6 minutes remaining first half. Up the middle on 3rd and short. Brad Marcy has a first down for the West. Good strong run, and it's obvious when they need short yardage, Aid, Brad Marcy's the guy getting the call.
Marcy getting the call, and also running the football over Isaac Hayes. Check it here. Isaac Hazing, I beg your pardon. Again, we knew that they were going to run over Hazing, 6'3", 215-pounder out of Clearwater. And he's on that left side over there, and he's the one who made that good block on that last play.
From the 27, first down and 10. Kester on the run, and Kester on the quarterback keep gets a couple. Not a lot of room over there for Kester. And good play on coverage. Justin Mastney in over there on the stop.
Once again, all these yellow jerseys in pursuit. Good job there by Scott Crook to pursue. Work off the blocks. The key there was keep the blockers away from your body, and that's exactly what Crook did ahead of the Midland Lutheran this fall. But at 6'3", 230 pounds, he's tough to move out of there. But again, the Shelby product, keeping those blockers off his body.
Kester give to Feynman. And no running room at all for Jeff Feynman from Blue Hill. He ran into a host of yellow jerseys again on that right side of the line. And the East defensive line right now is showing some good dominance.
They really are, Kevin. They're strong up front. They have good technique. Talked a moment ago about keeping the blockers away, keep them at arm's length, work off the head, work off the shoulders, not let them get inside on you. Have pretty good speed. They react to the corners well, and they tackle well. So, again, overall, this East team defense playing very, very well.
3rd down and 7. Ball squarely at the 30-yard line. The West trailing 17-0. Tyler Kester to throw, lobs it out into the open field. The pass incomplete. He had a man out there in Chris Williams, but it was just tipped away. Williams could not pull it in. Richardson, along with Tom Wemhoff on the coverage.
5 yellow jerseys on the dropping coverage here, and this ball almost completed as we see number 30 there, Chris Williams outrunning the coverage, almost makes the play. But again, good defense there by Richardson.
4th down and 7. Time to punt again for Tyler Kester. Low snap. Kester gets off a boomer, and with the wind at his back, that ball into the end zone, and a touchback is coming. The East will have it at the 15-yard line. Good kick by Kester. Got it up in the wind and let the wind do the work.
Again, that wind blowing at about 20 out of the south, and it does make a huge, huge difference. We just saw it right there. A little instruction going on now. Elliot Gautreau going in as coach telling him, here's how it goes, Elliot.
Thursday night at 7 Central on NETV. Tune into Backyard Farmer to get all your lawn and garden questions answered. UNL's cooperative extension experts can help you deal with anything you're growing or don't want growing, whether it's crabgrass in the front yard or tomatoes in the backyard. Watch Backyard Farmer to find out how to get rid of it, keep it, or grow it. It's Thursday night at 7 Central Time on NETV. 1st and 10 from the 15. Elliot Gautreau back in at quarterback. The East leading 17-0. Roar trying to find the corner. He's got it, and he's got a first down and more. Knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. First down, East All-Stars, and a lot of room to run for Chase Roar.
T.J. Bond continues to shine out there as far as blocking out of the backfield. Toss sweep left here, number 19. You see 53 there pulling out to lead the way, Dustin Fricke, but 19 again. Excellent block, and he lets Rohr move up ahead there. First team All-State running back Chase Rohr out of Bloomfield. And they pick up that first down.
Greg Iverson, the guy that finally got up and shoved him out of bounds. From the 29, fumbled snap. Gautreau able to fall on top of it. He'll lose 2 yards, but more importantly, he'll keep the ball for the East.
Backers coming that time. Tom Hoyt, middle linebacker, blitzing that time, and he just missed making the play, maybe recovering the fumble, but he was right there just to make sure nobody advanced after the play. As Andy Verbka is going to give some instruction.
Brain trust there.
Randy Jess, Lou Grazer.
East All-Stars facing a second down. Gautreau with some running room, and he stopped a yard shy of the first down. Caught him from behind. Big Max Korb got his big meat hooks around him and stopped him just shy of the first down, it looks like.
Max tipped it at about 270 as Gautreau trying to weave his way through, and there's 54, Max Korb out of Lynch, Nebraska. Maybe come here to play this fall, or maybe Midland Lutheran. He's going to make his mind up here soon. But he's back there to make the play. He's moving pretty well for a guy that's 270 pounds to get back there that deep in the formation.
Just shy of the first. They will mark it about 8 to 10 inches short of the first. And so third down and that much to go for the East All-Stars.
You know, Air Force Academy runs that wishbone, or they used to run the wishbone a lot, Kevin, to run that triple option play. And Gautreau's going to play baseball, but he showed some pretty good moves here this afternoon. The speed may be a little bit questionable, as we talked about earlier, but still showing good moves to get by the line of scrimmage.
On the dive, first down. T.J. Bond not taking any chances, just takes it, dives forward, and right at the midfield stripe, the East will have a first down.
Took it right over the left side. Preston Crumley, the big youngster from Hardington at 6'5" and 290. Took it right over his spot. They need a yard or 2 or 3. That's where they're going to go. Crumley, tell you what, I'm impressed with this young man at 290 pounds, headed to South Dakota State University on a football scholarship, but wow, he's got a great physique and probably another 20, 30 pounds at least.
40-yard line, first down. Here's flags again. A lot of movement on the line. Who flinched first? That'll be up to the officials. Your referee, Dave Schenk, and the rest of the crew will sort it out, this time against the East offense.
False start on the East.
Well, we asked Andy Verbka earlier how he would attack the West. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think we're going to mix it up where we can run the ball. I think I've got some great running backs, but then I've got some great ends with Justin Hans and Jeff Seagren and Jared Stutzman from Friend. So we're going to mix it up. We might even get to a 50-50 run pass. So I think we're going to try to attack them all around the field, you know, stretch the field a little bit, play action, run the ball. So we're just going to try to attack them all over.
Gautreau attacking there on the run around the right side, picks up some good yardage from the 35 after the penalty down to the 38-yard line of the West.
Running that option play to the right side, and you saw a guy streak by there. That was Tom Hoyt, the middle linebacker. But again, he got a little bit too wide and a little bit too far out of control to make the play, and if he could just kind of stayed under control and cut down that angle a little bit, he makes a play for a loss in the backfield.
2nd and 7. Kurtenbach trying to make up that yardage on the left side, and he will spin away, brought down by Dan Pelster. Pelster laid a good stick on him, and here comes a late flag. Kurtenbach around the corner. Pelster got him, and then the flag came in nearly as the play ended.
Personal foul, as you see the referee Dave Schenk indicate that against the West squad. Again, a convoy of blockers out there on that left side led by Cody Millard. Great lead block by Cody Millard on that last play to open things up. Schenk now going to mark it off.
So the penalty against the West will give the East a first down inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line of the West All-Stars. And the East already leading 17-0. Has a chance for more here. Let's see if we can pick up the penalty at the end of the play.
Watch 35 up front here. Bingo, there's the block right there. That's Cody Millard. And that allows Kurtenbach to get outside. Now what happens here? Yeah, a little bit late. I think we were blocked out there, but it was late. He was out of bounds, and the guy came up and hit him.
Gautreau Gain of 2. Back from behind to bring him down was Tom Hoyt. Larry Putney may have some more information. Larry?
Guys are listening with Andy. Andy, what are we doing here?
To go into the flat, and you're going short, and you're going high back. You got to block that D end, all right? Yep, 18-power sweep pass. We've been running the sweep. Now we're going to try to throw it either deep to the end or short to the back. So
it's kind of fun for you throwing the ball.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. I might do it more next fall.
Now, anybody that's got high planes on the schedule, look out.
We might have started a revolution here, Kevin, as Arlo Guthrie used to say in one of his songs. We might have a revolution on our hands. There it is. Timeout.
Timeout taken by the East offense. Andy Verbka wants to talk it over with his team. Perhaps let him talk him out of throwing the ball a little bit more. You know, a year ago we did the West Nebraska All-Star game, and Gary Hartman threw a lot. Didn't change his scheme. We'll see if it changes Andy Verbka's. Well, if you'd like a VHS copy or DVD of the game you're seeing today, log on to mynptv.org and click on the sports link or call 1-800-228-4630. NETV is Nebraska's home for sports. Nice crowd on hand. It's turned into a very nice afternoon. We had rain here throughout a good portion of the morning. Real strong rains that blew through here. Thunder and lightning, and now it's cleared off, and it's really turned into a very nice afternoon.
Good football day. Again, a little bit windy down there as far as the kicking game and the passing game. If you're throwing into the wind, kicking into the wind, we've seen what has happened here this afternoon with that. But overall, nice day, good day for the fans to be out here. So wasn't so much so this morning as Kevin said, a lot of thunder and lightning here along with the rain.
Last year, as we mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of thunder and lightning during the game. Gotro fumbles the snap, is able to pick it up, then tosses it behind him, and a great pickup made by Andrew Boxa to save what could have been a horribly disastrous play for the East All-Stars. He made a fingertip grab. Otherwise, the West is going the other way for 6.
Greg Iverson, 24 here, almost makes the play in the backfield, but, well, we wanted a little, there he is, 24, coming through, just about makes a play there. And then Boxa, again, had the presence of mind to keep it under control here, hang on to the football. We wanted some excitement and that sort of thing, as we talked about, but not quite this kind of stuff. But, hey, here we go. And just a battle right there, as you see Clint Norman, 32, from Crawford, Nebraska, making the play. Boxa's the one that held onto the football, but again, Norman's the guy that made the play that brought Boxa down.
Something tells me that is not what Andy Verbka discussed in his timeout.
It's not in the playbook.
And flags again before this one starts. Already 3rd and 19 from the 26, and the East is going to move back 5 again as a substitution infraction. Will mark off a delay of game against the East All-Stars, and 5 more yards makes it 3rd and 24 now for the East.
This one, 3rd and like a mile.
We're going to throw it, yeah.
Okay, we're going to run a sweep this way and try to run the clock. We are going to get silly. All right, we're going to run for 30-some yards for a touchdown.
The toss to Kurtenbach. And Kurtenbach, good cutback. Is he going to run 30-some yards for a touchdown? He might. Down the sideline, and he's going to score. Kurtenbach does just what his coach says. He runs 31 yards for the touchdown.
Absolutely amazing. Great call by Verbka over there. As watch Kurtenbach just do the dipsy-do here, dance around. Pretty good block in there. Just a missed tackle right there. That was number 12, Dan Pelcher, missed the tackle, and then just fight away. Chris Olsen downfield making a good block, and then Kurtenbach just keeps going, Kevin. It puts it in the zone.
Boy, Andy Verbka, I would recommend purchasing a Powerball ticket tonight. With that kind of prognostication, you've got a good shot. Tom Wemhoff with the extra point attempt, and the kick this time is no good. First one he's missed. 23-0, the East All-Stars, and let's go downstairs to Larry Putney.
Guys, I'm over here with Kurtenbach. Tell me about the run. You're a little winded, I know.
Yeah. Well, everybody got in front of the men, and Gotro told me to cut back. I did.
Coach said right before you went out there, he said, hey, if you can take it all the way, go.
Yeah, no, that was pretty east, baby. It's pretty east. We want to run it up.
Nice job.
Thanks.
23-0. Let's watch the run again.
Look at all the blocking here up front, and then a nice move right there. And to keep his balance is just incredible there. There's Crumley way downfield. The big guy, Preston Crumley, making a block downfield. So just everybody got a pretty good hand in that play down there as Kurtenbach waltzes into the end zone. Set school records for rushing last year with 1,652 yards. And also touchdowns. So again, we mentioned earlier, headed to Kansas. He's going to walk on, play football down in Kansas.
Well, it's been a dominant first half by the East All-Stars as they lead it 23-0 over the West. And the West trying to figure out a way to get something going against a pretty solid East defense and try to figure out a way to stop a very potent East offense. They have been a big play offense in this first half.
Certainly have, Kevin, and they've mixed it up well too, which we thought perhaps maybe we'd see just more of the running game. But Andy Verbka has really kind of changed the tune here this afternoon. He's known for his running game and always will be, but throw the ball nicely and mix it up quite well.
Short kick taken by Lane Ford of the West, and Ford has a seam, just slips down at the 28-yard line. For a minute, Ford had a little daylight, but he could not cash in, and the West will have it 1st and 10, 6 seconds remaining. Clock's still running here, and now they need to stop it with 4 seconds remaining in this first half.
Ford from Cody Kilgore, that is, trying to get some speed to the outside. And he slips to turf. Was a little bit wet from all the rain we had here earlier on today, but it's drying out considerably, as you can see from the light green versus the dark green on the field there. But again, trying to cut back and get that speed to the outside didn't work.
See the officials, they want 7 seconds on the clock, not 4. Clock ran 3 seconds off inadvertently, so they're trying to get the clock reset to 7 seconds remaining in this first half. And Larry Putney's down on the field. Larry?
Well, I'm down here with the guy that says he has a Powerball in his back pocket.
After the last 2 calls, if I don't have one, I'm going to sure go buy one, but maybe 2 or 3. Maybe I can win it 2 or 3 times.
You want to call this play for me?
I hope it's an interception and back for a touchdown. But I'll just take no touchdown. Just catch it, tackle him, and I'm sure they'll call timeout. And they can throw it again. We'll catch him, tackle it, and we'll be out here.
We're going to chat here in about 4 seconds, 7 seconds.
Okay, I hope so. I hope so.
Andy Verbka, who, as we mentioned right before the touchdown, called the touchdown, and there it was. Andy Verbka, of course, the president of the 8-man All-Star football game board or committee out here in Hastings. Now we have 11 minutes remaining on the clock, so that's
11 seconds. We got 11 minutes. So you ready for another 11 minutes here, Kevin?
I don't know.
And Larry?
I'm not sure that anybody is. As we look at the clock problems continuing to be worked on here in Hastings. 23-0. The East All-Stars have dominated here. If you're just joining us and saying, oh, 11 minutes remaining in the second quarter, that's not correct. There's actually 7 seconds remaining in the second quarter. They will sort it out, and perhaps the officials will be keeping time on the field. Well, Monday night at 8 Central Time, watch Ken Burns' American Stories about the life and the story of Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, 2 of the most important women in American history. The documentary reveals the dynamics behind this remarkable alliance, which gave birth to the women's rights movement during the 19th century. Don't miss Ken Burns' American Stories, Monday night at 8 Central Time on NETV. Time will be kept on the field as the officials will take care of that. Kester will throw. Back, fires down the sideline, and it is intercepted by the East All-Stars. Andy Verbka called for the pick. He gets the pick. He didn't get the touchdown, but Justin Masney with the interception for the East.
Both men coming off the line of scrimmage there. They cross deep, and then kind of puts it up. And again, a lot of coverage back there. You see the coverage again as the interception is made, and that'll do it for the first half here.
23-0. The East heads into the locker room with a 23-point lead after the interception. And Larry Putney is standing by with Karnak. Larry?
You're a guy with a golden clipboard. There's no question about that. Guys played well the first half.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we've seen that all week with them at practice. They you know, you see them here on the sideline. You've been walking over here. You can see the way the camaraderie, and they're having fun. Yeah. You know, well, it helps being on top, but they've been this way since they got to camp. So I had a good feeling coming in. I thought if we, just didn't give them any chances, any turnovers or anything, maybe we could get after them, and they've just been a big happy family all week.
And you've really been able to do it not only on the ground but in the air.
Yeah, and you know, I've kind of talked in the papers and stuff. I thought we could do that with the Goutreau, and then we get a pass out of half, a screen pass out of half for a big touchdown. So we knew we had that ability, and they're really bringing the house on defense. So, you know, and we've told the kids, you know, they bring everybody, and you break the seam, you get by them, and we're going to take a big one home, and we've done that a couple times.
Thanks, Andy. Best of luck second half.
Thanks.
Things have gone well in the first half for that man and the East All-Stars. They lead at 23-0 at halftime of the 8-man All-Star football game from Hastings.
Isolated by 1,000 miles of turquoise ocean, a Jurassic Park teems with living relics of a lost world, virtually untouched for millions of years. Is this paradise the original Garden of Eden? Next time on Nova.
Tuesday night at 7 Central Time on NETV.
Digital television in Nebraska is here. NETV is using this newest technology to bring a variety of educational and cultural programs to schools and homes across the state. NETV 1, the same quality public television you've come to expect for nearly half a century. NETV 2, with live coverage of the unicameral, Spanish language programs, and encore telecasts of your favorite NETV programs. NETV 3, our new education and lifelong learning channel with programs for classrooms and to help you get a high school or college diploma or to just learn something new. NETV HD, high-definition television with unmatched pictures and sound. NETV's new digital channels are on the air and available to viewers with DTV home receivers or from cable companies providing these channels to their customers. Find out more at mynptv.org and tune in to the new channels of NETV Digital Television.
Next time on Ken Burns' American Stories, one half of America could literally own the other half.
You got nothing.
Until two women started a revolution. Part 1 of Not For Ourselves Alone on the next Ken Burns' American Stories.
Monday night at 8 Central Time on NETV. From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is NETV and NETV Digital Television.
And welcome back to Hastings, Nebraska, as we are at halftime in Hastings. 23-0 as you look at the park in downtown Hastings. 23-0, the East All-Stars with a commanding lead over the West here at the break in the 8-man All-Star football game. Thanks for being with us on this beautiful day in Hastings, Nebraska. It's going to be just an absolutely perfect weekend, they say, in Hastings, and we're happy to be here for a part of it. NETV Sports has a great website for you. Log on to mynetv.org. and click on the sports link. There you'll find information about locally produced sports programs, how you can get a DVD or VHS tape of today's games, and how you can support NETV Sports. Because without support from viewers like you, we won't be able to bring you high school sports programs like the one you're watching today. Log on to mynptv.org and be more connected with NETV Sports. And Larry Putney is standing by with a very special guest. Larry?
I'm with Larry Zablujil, who is with the Hastings Noon Sertoma Club, and also the chairman of the 8-man committee. Talk about this week and how well it's gone.
We've had a good week at camp. We bring the kids in on, actually it was a week ago Thursday, and we bring them in and they check in. We have an opening barbecue for them. And then they start camp that night with some meetings, and we've had a good camp. I think all the kids are healthy, no serious injuries. They're all going to get to play, and that's not always the case, so we're happy about that.
Really, the Hastings and the community support, you can do a lot of things with these kids and all over the town.
That's right. You know, we assist in putting this game on. The 8-Man Coaches Association actually picks the players, the coaches, and so forth, of course. But we provide activities for these kids in the evening so that it's not an all work and no play situation.
Give us an idea of some of the things they do during the week.
We arrange activities for them, like the Lead Super Screen Theater. We have a couple of barbecues for them. They attend Champion Sports and Recreation. There's a couple of movies that they go to, a remote control airplane show. So we try to give them a variety of things to do and keep them interested.
They have time to practice?
They do practice a little bit. No, they work pretty hard. During the day, they have some tough practices, and they're ready to play a little bit at night.
I think we've seen that a little bit. Not only the support the community gives it, but I know it's a big task for your committee that puts this on. Why don't you talk a little bit about the time and effort involved in putting on the 8-man game every year?
Yeah, it is, and it takes a lot of people. You know, we have about 80 members in our club, and they all pitch in one way or another to put this game on. We start meetings in January and hold monthly meetings for just the 8-man football committee, and we do that right up through game day. And so, yeah, it takes a lot of people and a lot of hard work to put everything together.
I think this is your third year now here at Hastings College. Talk about this facility and being able to be here and have a great field for the kids to play on.
Oh, we're thrilled to be at Hastings College. You know, this is a great venue. A lot of these kids, you know, of course, they all come from small towns, so they don't get to play in stadiums like this. And when Hastings College offered this again, we were thrilled that they did that, and it really puts a special emphasis on it being an all-star game in a facility like this. So we're really happy with that.
Larry, thanks very much for your help, and nice job on the entire weekend.
Okay, thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. Back up to you, Kevin.
23-0, the East leading the West. We'll head to break and back with more from Hastings in a moment.
Coming soon to NETV. This is what you had to say about the coverage of the NCAA Regional Baseball game on NETV Sports. Thank you for your support of collegiate baseball on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports. You're watching NETV and NETV Digital Television, a service of Nebraska Educational Telecommunications.
The East leading the West here at halftime of the 8-man All-Star football game. NETV Sports would like to thank NCS Equipment Rental for their support in providing technical equipment for the Nebraska 8-man All-Star game. NCS Equipment Rental, offering equipment rental and contractor supplies in Grand Island, Hastings, Kearney, Bertrand, and Lincoln. Let's go down on the field. Larry Putney is standing by with a very special guest.
Thanks, Kevin. Phil Dudley, the president of Hastings College. Thanks very much for joining us. What a great facility to kind of showcase and a great event.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me to be with you. Yes, it is. It's a wonderful facility, and especially with our field turf, and so we're just delighted to be able to host this wonderful game.
8-man football has really treated Hastings College well.
Boy, I'll tell you, absolutely. I was just doing a little research. We have 16 athletes now on our team from 8-man squads. Daniel Woodburn from Medicine Valley, I think, is second-team All-American and academic All-American, perfect 4.0 GPA. And then I think we have 14 athletes from 8-man schools coming this year, including 3 that are playing today. So you're absolutely right. We can have a squad of 30 that will be from 8-man football programs.
Really, it's kind of a hidden quality of talent out there.
You know, absolutely. If you watch today, we've really got some very talented athletes here, but you're quite right. They don't get the exposure that some of the larger schools and the 11-man programs get.
What a great year for Hastings College athletics.
Well, thank you. It has been a great year. Our football team did very well, finishing 3rd, but our women's basketball team won back-to-back national championships. That's the first time in the history of the college that we've ever done that, so that was really special for us.
Talk about this facility. I know dedicated not too long ago, and being able to showcase a facility like this.
Well, I think this is the 4th year for our stadium, which is phenomenal, and again, to host so many things here. But then also we opened our arena just this past fall, 2,100 top-loaded arena and marvelous facilities there. We've got about I think, about 200 or 300 lockers just over in that facility. So our student athletes really like the facility. It's just a wonderful place to host athletic events.
Here in the GPAC conference, that just continues to grow with the addition of Morningside. I mean, what a very strong conference for middle part of the nation.
You're absolutely right. Sioux Falls got in the national championships in football twice. And in the women's basketball, 4 of the GPAC teams got in the Final Four. We were all playing each other, so it was absolutely a remarkable year. You're quite right. Track, football, even soccer, we've had a couple of championships. So very competitive conference.
Well, thanks very much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Hope to see you again next year.
We will. Thanks, Phil. Back to you, Kevin.
One of the real nice guys in college athletics, Phil Dudley. Appreciate his support out here as well. If you'd like a VHS copy or DVD of this game that you're seeing today, log on to mynptv.org and click on the sports link or call 800-228-4630. NETV is Nebraska's home for sports. The East leading the West 23-0 here at halftime. Back with the start of the second half when we return in a moment.
Grandpa, wake up. Oh, it's story time. We'll read the story about the big dog. Yes, on the way to school.
Always there when you need us. Nebraska Public Power District, together with your local public power utility.
Programming on NETV is provided in part by Bryan LGH Medical Center in Lincoln, nationally recognized by AARP for its work in orthopedics. Bryan LGH also received nationwide acclaim for its success in cardiovascular services. And the medical center has been recognized nationally for its support of working mothers. Bryan LGH, the first name in healthcare.
You're watching NETV.
At the 30th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards, the PBS children's series Reading Rainbow was honored with 2 Emmys, including Outstanding Children's Series. This is the 7th time Reading Rainbow has won in this category and is one of many other Emmy Awards we've received for the program. Nebraska Educational Telecommunications co-produces Reading Rainbow, a television series that encourages children to read. And we hope that as Nebraskans, you share our pride in serving children everywhere and in receiving yet another Emmy Award honor for Reading Rainbow.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is NETV and NETV Digital Television.
NETV sports coverage of the Nebraska 8-man All-Star football game from Hastings is brought to you in part by NPPD. Always there when you need us. By Bryan LGH Medical Center, the first name in heart care. By ACE, the Public Alliance for Community Energy, your hometown choice for natural gas. And by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, community grants, and college planning services. East dominating right now on a beautiful day for football in Hastings, 23-0, the East with the lead, and let's go down to Larry Putney.
With Ken Jensen, really it's just a first half of big plays for them.
Yeah, we've just offensively we didn't execute. We ran 6 plays first 2 series, and we ran 2 of them right. So just mentally we weren't ready to go, and we weren't in the game, and otherwise, you know, we're not playing too bad. We calmed down a little bit offensively, and we sustained a couple of drives, but just those 2 big plays just kind of really hurt, obviously.
What'd you say to him at half?
We just said, guys, that half's done and over. We can't do anything about it. Let's go out and let's play a good second half and just come back a little bit at a time.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a look at the stats for the first half of action here from Hastings. You see the numbers put up in total yardage show the East's dominance in this game.
Total yards, passing yards, 109. That's a big surprise, Kevin. We thought, obviously, the numbers would maybe be reversed. They rushed for 95. Again, we expected that, but 109 yards passing for the East team is something that they really didn't expect. But Andy Verpke crossed everybody up and went to the airways and made use of that. So, and again, the first downs, they doubled the first downs of the West team. And the only stat that makes any difference, as we say every time, is that one right there at the bottom, 23-0 as far as the score goes. So, again, the passing, they've done a good job as far as passing. When you look at 3 for 6, 3 of those completions resulting in 95 yards in total passing yardage for the East squad. So East has dominated. That doesn't show as far as all the things the defense has done, both as far as stats go and also just mechanics on the field. So this East team really dominant here in the first half. So let's see if the West can come back. They'll have the wind at their back to start the third quarter here. Let's see if they can capitalize on that. The East will be receiving, however. They'll have the ball first as Andy Verbka there getting his charges ready to go.
Would you and your business like to help bring programs like these to NETV? You can become a corporate sponsor. Along with other Nebraska businesses, your contributions can support quality programming like you're seeing today. Help support NETV by calling 800-634-6788. East on offense first. They will send Justin Hans, who has a touchdown today, back deep to receive the kickoff. Although with the West having the wind, kickoffs with the wind today have been pretty much in zone bound throughout the day.
Hans is used to handling the football on kicks at high school. Had punt returns, had 3 touchdowns on punt returns and 4 touchdowns on kickoff returns last year. So he handles the ball well. He's got good speed. He's a big, rangy young man, 6'2", 195, and has excellent speed upfield. So don't be surprised if he gets a good return.
And the second half is underway. Kester through the end zone with that wind, and out to the 15 goes the East offense. I can't imagine we're going to see too many returns today with that wind at the back of whoever's kicking.
It was interesting there. You saw Justin Hans going after the ball. He wanted to try to field the ball before it crossed the plane of the goal line. That's why he was aggressive in trying to field the football. But again, just a little bit too strong. And Kevin, you're right. Anything coming out of the south here, pass or kick, is going to sail a long ways.
23-0 the lead for the East. They have it first down and 10 from the 15. Gotro, the quarterback, on the option. And Gotro, a couple of yards up the middle, near the 18-yard line. Give him 3 on the play. Well, Andy Verbka with a 23-0 lead, but earlier was very concerned about a couple of things with the West squad. He talked about that earlier.
I think my biggest concern is their offense. I mean, I think they're wide open. Ken likes a little more wide open offense. So I think that's my biggest concern, is their ability to strike quick and fast. And you know, hopefully we grind it out a little bit. I'm just scared that they'll be able to hit the big one and come back quick.
Roar on the carry there, losing a couple of yards on the play as good penetration coming from Ira Sponel. We saw Ira a couple of weeks ago out at the West Nebraska game, and here Ira comes through with a nice penetration and a stop for a loss of a couple on the play.
And also Travis Herman out of a linebacker spot there from Greeley-Walbach, state wrestling champ last year, the 171. He also very active and in on that play.
Third down and 10 from the 15. Gotro with a lot of time on the rollout. Down the sidelines, well covered down there and incomplete. Jared Stutzman was very well covered by Lane Ford, and nowhere for that ball to go.
Good job by Ford right there, headed to Nebraska this fall. And also an excellent job by the middle backer Hoyt. Watch 18 right here. He's going to nick the receiver right there. And they really wanted to try to maybe hit him in the flat, but then going to that secondary receiver downfield. But again, Tom Hoyt, the middle linebacker, headed to UNK this fall, playing an excellent football game for the West.
Elster stands at the 35-yard line waiting to receive the crook punt into the wind. It's it high in the air, forcing it through that wind, and it takes another good hop for the East All-Stars. It'll roll out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Become a member of Nebraskans for Public Television and help support programs like these. Our most important source of funding comes from you, and without your support, NETV cannot provide quality programming like high school sports. Help us bring more Nebraska sports to you. Call 1-800-634-6788 or log on to mynptv.org and click on Become a Member. First and 10 from the 26-yard line as the West goes to work for the first time in this second half, trailing 23-0. Conant on the quick little slant pattern, and he threw behind Eric Brooks, his intended receiver. Second down.
Had two receivers right there in the same spot where the football went also, Kevin. Chris Williams is going to come off from the tight end spot. Watch this. 30 right there. Right in that same area. You're bringing defenders together. So you got to let one or the other clear. And that didn't happen. And again, sometimes when that happens, you have all those people bunched up in there. What happens is an interception, but the ball got knocked down to the ground, so it'll be second down and 10.
I would imagine on a short week of practice where you haven't been with these guys, that's tough to get that timing down.
It really is.
Conant on second down, fires it out into the flat, complete out there to Eric Brooks, and Brooks out near the 30-yard line. A short gain of 3.5 yards, and third down coming up for the West.
Kind of winding up here. Pretty good throw. Good block out there by Jeff Feynman. And kind of just winding up to hit the receiver over there on that far sideline. And again, it was just a comebacker as far as the route goes, and then try to shake loose and go. Try to break it one-on-one with that cornerback out there. Shake loose and go. But again, good effort, good pursuit by the East squad.
Third down and 6 from the 30. On it, straight drop. Now has to roll away from some pressure. Flag is down. Over the middle, Conant fires, and it's incomplete, and there's a flag for pass interference in the backfield. The flag up front, though, thrown in the area of holding. We may have offsetting penalties here.
Could perhaps be the case, as you see Dave Schenk there, the referee, talking with his people from the secondary. I think you're going to be right on, Kevin.
They will offset, and we'll redo third down and 6.
It just didn't happen here. Good pursuit inside, and there's a hold right there on Tyson Misek. Again, the big, strong guy, and he really is. He can bench 360, squat 465. And then there's the interference with the receiver. Offsets, play didn't happen. Try it again.
Great looks from our cameramen, men and women, on those two shots. You can see both of those penalties very clearly. And on third and 6, we redo it. 9:41 remaining in this third quarter. Conant on third and 6, looking for the first down. He's got it out near midfield, and Jason Conant, good strong run to give the West a first down.
Well, they give the defense a little bit of a look here. Brad Marcy is a running back. Now watch this. He's going to go to the left side right there. And the defense, wow, there's a hole opened up over there. I think Isaac Hazing and Chris Williams on the blocking on that right side. Let's double check that. Yeah, Hazing's over there. But again, excellent blocking, huge hole to create that first down.
First down from midfield. Conant, big shot across the middle, intended for Brooks and incomplete. Well, earlier today, we talked about with Ken Jensen how his West squad would best attack the East.
Offensively, we want to try and utilize the people we have at the skill positions. We want to try and throw the ball a little bit. We know we're going to have to be able to run the ball against them. And we feel real good with the backs we have with Jeff Bayman and Bryce Johnson that we can do that. So we want to try and have a balanced attack, but we know we're going to have to be able to run against them. Defensively, we just want to be tough and make them earn everything they get. We're trying not to obviously give up the big plays.
Ball recovered by the West, and they almost gave up a big play right there, as pouncing on that loose ball is Ben Gossman, the center, and fortunate for the West All-Stars that he did so.
Kind of trying to get the ball out, but he's pinned down there by Misek. Good close on the tackle by Tyson Misek. Trying to pitch the ball out, but he just couldn't get the ball up, and it went right to the turf. West team lucky that they retained possession of the football, but that's because of Gossman being very alert, recovering the fumble.
Third down and 14 to go. Conant in trouble, and down he goes. Right at the snap of the ball, Dustin Fricke was in there, and he would not let go. Fricke with a sack.
He's been a factor all day up front there. Brings up fourth down. Strong young man, 53. Watch him here, just underneath everybody this time. Out of Sterling, Nebraska, going to hit it to Bruce State this year. And able to make that big play. But he's been a factor for all of the game, as we have a player down on that far sideline over there.
So Fricke with the sack. He had 10 sacks a year ago in his senior season with Sterling. And he gets one here, just a very quick play. Beat Gossman, the center, right off the snap of the ball and dove through to get the sack. That's Tom Wemhoff, we understand, down on the sideline. And that takes, if he's injured for any length of time, that takes your kicker, your punter, and one of your better linebackers off the field, so you hate to see that happen for the East All-Stars. They're checking Tom Wemhoff, leaning in to get a better chance to talk with him on the sideline. Didn't get a chance to see what happened to Tom. He is down in the prone position there as they continue to check him.
That's Andy Verbka in the white shirt. And two of the orthopedic people. Larry, you down there?
Yeah, he just got the wind knocked out of him, guys. He was trying to get off the field before he had to just kind of fall to his face. He knocked the wind out of him a little. Verbka was yelling at him. He's, Tommy, can you hear me? And Wemhoff said, who is that, Verbka? So Verbka said, yeah, he's okay.
He looks like he kind of got dinged around, though, here. He's a little bit maybe more than the wind, but he's up and, oh, that's
good to
see that. Just for a moment there, I think we were all sitting here wondering, he wasn't moving very much at all, if at all.
He appears to be okay, though, as he makes his way to the sideline. Tom Wemhoff, who kicked a 8-man record 41-yard field goal in that first quarter today. 4th down and 20, and Tyler Kester, with a strong wind at his back, will punt for the West. And it goes over his head. Kester tracks it down. He's in trouble back in the end zone, and he just throws it out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Well, that should be a penalty, I would think, but we'll see. Shifted out here.
If he threw it out of bounds, it would be an incomplete pass. They considered a forward pass. Now they're just going to fumble it out.
But there was no receiver within 25 or 30 yards of the pass, so in hot pursuit. So, well, they're going to talk it over here. We'll wait and see. His snap was clear over the head, no chance at all. And now the fun begins.
He had designs on punting it here, and they said, "Oh, it's not good." Looked up and saw Tyson Mice right in his face, and dead. And I don't know what that is.
Yeah, there is a flag now. Yeah. Intentional grounding, exactly. It had to be because, again, in college, if you get outside the tackles, it doesn't make any difference. You can do that. But in high school, the rule is still the old rule, and that is there's got to be an eligible receiver that can reasonably make the play. And there was nobody within probably 25 yards, maybe 30 yards of Kester on the play. So, again, it will be a penalty.
And it'll be a safety because the penalty occurred in the end zone. Let's watch Kester again.
He's about 6'2". Tyler Kester 6'2". He needed to be about 8'6" to field that snap, and then maybe could have handled it. But again, as Dave Shink's going to explain it all to everybody, and we'll move ahead from there.
So the East now lead 25-0 over the West. A 2-pointer on the safety as Ken Jensen not happy with what he's seen in this one from the West All-Stars. It's been a dominant performance by the East, and didn't hear a whole lot about the East defense coming into this game, Abe, but they have really been good today. Well,
anytime you shut out anybody in 8-man football, and that's what they have going with 7:56 here left in the third quarter, Kevin, when you hang a 0 on the board in 8-man ball, that's doing pretty well, and especially in an all-star game, too. So, yeah, great job by the yellow jerseys.
Well, if you'd like a VHS copy or DVD of the game you're seeing today, log on to mynptv.org and click on the sports link or call 800-228-4630. NETV is Nebraska's home for sports. 7:56 remaining in the third. Now that we've sorted all that out, a free kick coming for the West. They will boot it away with the wind at their back to the East All-Stars. High kick in the wind. Hans gets it by him. The ball is loose on the field, and Hans picks it up at the last second, and Hans to the 27-yard line. Wow, that was dangerous for the East All-Stars.
We just tried to make it fun out there, and he really did make it fun on that last play. Overran the punt. Watch him. He's okay. Now I got to go back. Oops, it's going to go back the other way. It's doing the moonwalk back the other way, and now let's go. Okay. And you know, when you're wearing the green jersey, that ball's free, and he gets a hold of it. Get to him. Don't wait around. You saw a couple of guys hesitating there, but he's legal. Go after him.
From the 26 on 1st down and 10, Kurtenbach driven backwards. Big hit from Tom Hoyt. Kurtenbach with a full head of steam, Hoyt with a full head of steam, and Tom Hoyt wins that little collision.
Hoyt's been around the ball all day, number 18, working off the big middle guard, and you saw a block there by Crumley, pressing Crumley, trying to knock Hoyt off on the tackle. Didn't work as Hoyt just kept going. Tom Hoyt is all of 6 foot, 180 pounds, playing that middle backer spot. And he's hanging right off the backside of Ben Helmstead.
From the 27 on second down, Gautreaux at the 29 is brought down by Ben Homestead. Haven't heard much from the big man in the middle. The 6'1", 295-pounder from Paxton brings down Gautreaux after a gain of a yard.
Homestead, we saw him a couple of weeks ago. He's the guy that laid the block that broke Jeff Newyear for a long touchdown run in that All-Star game. And he's a player. He's 6'1", 295. He's a tough one to move out of there. Plays well on offense and defense, but they have him pretty much strictly on defense here today. Doing a fine job. He and Hoyt connecting up and doing a fine job for the West team.
3rd down and 7 from the 29. They need to get it to the 36-yard line. Gautreaux under pressure, in trouble, fires it out. It's tipped away at the last minute. Diving in, Tyler Kester with a good defensive play to knock that ball down.
That was Marcus Holland that was back there causing the problem. As you see, the green team, the West team, is really pretty good pursuit today, but just always about a half a step short of what they need to do. But that time, play goes incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Time to punt it away for Scott Crook and the East All-Stars. They lead it 25-0. Crook, high snap. He's able to go get this one. And a line drive kick right into the arms of Dan Pelster. Pelster down the sideline and brought down at the 29-yard line. Chris Olson in on the stop for the East All-Stars. So the West will take it over once again, trailing 25-0, trying to figure out a way to put something together against this East defense. Well, Nebraska ETV takes you back to our American heritage as we present the 2003 Nebraska High School Rodeo Finals, this year live from the Adams County Fairgrounds here in Hastings. These young high school athletes are winding up their high school rodeo season and competing to qualify for the National Rodeo Finals. You won't want to miss any of the action. It's the 2003 Nebraska High School Rodeo, Sunday, June 29th, right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports.
Yeah, something that Ira Spano will be glad to hear, Kevin. He's a big rodeo young man, participated 3 times in the state rodeo championships, along with some national championships, national high school finals in New Mexico, so he'll be happy to see that. And now we saw that little flare pass, a flat pass out there by the West team. Probably going to see a little more of that to try to loosen up the East team. They've stacked up that middle. It's tough for them. Well, here we go, right up the middle again. But I suspect to see a little more of the flare, a little more of that quick pop pass to the outside, and get those backs out there to see if they can run and make some hay out there. Because right now, Kevin, with 5:30 and counting here in the 3rd quarter, behind 25 points, they've got to get some scores and get it here very quickly.
At midfield after that first down, Brad Marcy, the guy they've gone to all day on short yardage with good success. Marcy able to get that first down, and let's go downstairs to Larry Putney.
What are you going to call for us here, Coach?
This play, we're just going to dive up the middle here, try and give us.
That's kind of in the story of your day.
Unfortunately.
Just little mistakes.
Slot right goes easier. Okay, all we're going to do here is
The movement on the right side over there. Tyler Kester going into the ball game.
Five yards back, and it'll be first down and 15 from the 35. So we'll see the West what they decide to do here on 1st and 15. On a swing out to Kester. The backup quarterback in now as the wide out, and Kester able to pick up 5.5 yards on first down. Back down to Larry.
Pass from Conan is complete. Either Kester
goes slot right. You run the flag and have Chris run the out. Get 2 receivers on the opposite side. Bryce is going to run towards the corner of the end zone, and we're going to try and get Chris Williams on the out.
Okay, we'll see if it works, Coach.
Ken Jensen, the head coach of the West. See what Conant can do here as he's going to be asked to put the ball in the air. 2nd and 9. Trouble comes down. He goes. Oh, man. Everybody came into the backfield, and they all met at the quarterback, led there on the play by Trent Stevens.
Host of yellow jerseys. Again, the play well designed, but you got to do the blocking up front. Does not happen here. Watch Stevens here, 21. They're trying to block him, and he had some help from his buddies underneath there. That's number 15. That's Derek Hakey. Hakey out of Meridian. He and Stevens bottle up that play, and again, they shut it down. No chance at all to get the ball to the receiver.
3rd down and 18 back at the 32-yard line. Conant and the West All-Stars in a lot of trouble. Down the sideline, Conant looking for Kester, and it's underthrown. Good coverage again as Brady Handquist was right there, stride for stride, with Tyler Kester.
Handquist reading the receiver's eyes that time. Kind of a little bit of a hand fight going down this near sidelines, and then right at the last second turn and watch the ball, but the ball a little bit overthrown there as Ken Jensen's still trying to figure out how we're going to get this one done. As it's 4th down now, well, they're going to figure it out by a kick.
The West will punt it away with that wind. Tyler Kester back to boom it. Good snap this time. Pressure comes, and Kester goes straight up again to avoid the block, and it'll be out of bounds. A short punt that time as Kester just tried to get away from the block, and the ball out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So the East with good field position here, leading 25-0 after the punt that went straight up. NETV Sports has a great website for you. Log on to mynptv.org and click on the sports link. There you'll find information about locally produced sports programs, how you can get a DVD or VHS tape of today's game, and how you can support NETV Sports. Because without support from viewers like you, we won't be able to bring you high school sports programs like the one you're watching today. Log on to mynptv.org and be more connected with NETV Sports. Mitch Happ, the quarterback, on 1st down for the East. Happ trying to run out of trouble. He cannot get away from Tom Hoyt. The ball pops free at the end of the play. A lot of green jerseys there, but Happ able to fall on top of it. A big loss, though, and Hoyt and the rest of the West, a nice job defensively.
Again, Hoyt working off the nose guard here. And that's Helmstetter as he takes... Helmstetter will take care of 2 people as far as blocking goes. He's a big guy, or Homestead that is. You have to block 2 people or try to get 2 people to stop him, and then Hoyt works off of that. Homestead will take a half a gap and take a person with him, but there you see the middle backer right on the back end of Homestead.
2nd and 20, and a carry for minimal gain of a couple up the middle for the East All-Stars. Now Andy Verbka's crew just trying to get the clock moving, shorten the game a little bit with a 25-point lead.
Keep possession, move the chains, but keep it on the ground. You're right, Kevin. Just burn the clock as much as you can. But as we talked about Tom Hoyt earlier on, he's just working off of Homestead and making a lot of tackles back there. I'll be interested to see what his numbers are after the game is over. But for a 180-pound middle linebacker, he's playing a whale of a football game.
Gotro to throw on 3rd and long. Incomplete. Had a man over the middle. Intended for Eric Weeman. So Weeman snuck into the game as an offensive player, and Weeman could not pull in the pass.
Gotro, plenty of time here. A little bit of pressure coming from the outside. That was Blake Schuler. But he still had enough time to deliver the football, but it goes incomplete, and East will now boot it into that strong wind.
Crook has done a pretty good job of keeping him low and line drives. He does it again this time into the wind, and it's caught on the fly by Dan Pelster. Headed for the near sideline. Pelster banged into it the 35-yard line and then pounded out of bounds, and here comes the flag. Late hit by Weeman, and that'll cost the East All-Stars some yardage and give the West a very good opportunity here late in the 3rd quarter.
Nick Kurtenbach on the coverage. He's the yellow jersey that made an initial contact, and then there was contact beyond the out-of-bounds stripe as we saw a player coming off with a bad arm.
I think that's Ira Spawnell. Have to wait and see the other end of that number 42. That is Spawnell. And Ira in obvious pain on the sideline. We'll try to get a report as soon as we can.
There is the punt. Now watch it here as Kurtenbach will make the first hit coming up right here. Boom. That's fine. But now that's not. He's about 2 yards beyond the stripe, and that indeed is a penalty. No question about it.
Personal foul.
Here's a good view right here. Put you right in the action.
Look out.
You know, the cameramen on the sidelines are in great peril all the time, and it's a great job by our folks down there on the sideline.
It's Jim Underwood down there. Fortunately, he's fleet of foot, able to dodge that play. 2nd down and 7 coming up after a pickup of 3 over the left side of the line. The run on the play by Tyler Kester.
Ball carried by Tyler Kester.
Checking out Ira Sponel's shoulder.
The
way he walked off, you wondered if something didn't pop out of the socket down there.
Well, we talked about him earlier as far as the rodeo participation in rodeo. He's a great rodeo youngster.
Timeout left.
Headed to Nebraska this fall.
Our thanks to everyone.
He'll be on the rodeo team. He'll be playing football, but also do rodeo, the Nebraska rodeo squad. So let's hope that he'll be all right there. That didn't look good when he's coming off, Kevin.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we were fortunate enough to be at Haymarket Park Hawks Field in Lincoln, Nebraska for the Nebraska Baseball Regionals, and we asked at the time for some feedback, what you thought of our coverage of regionals and of sports here in Nebraska, and wanted to pass along a note, one of many, many notes we received. This one from Bernice Russell of Gurley, Nebraska, who just said, I wish to say a big thank you to those of you who brought us Big Red Baseball. What a joy for those who could not make it to Lincoln. For me, it's 365 miles one way. We make it to all the home football games, but the weather is much more predictable in the fall than in March and April. Thanks again for a job well done. And Mrs. Russell, we certainly appreciate your thoughts, and thanks for watching and all of the comments we received. Pro and con, we've read them all. We're working through them right now, and we sure appreciate all of the feedback that you gave us a couple of weeks ago. Let's down on the field. Let's find Larry Putney once again.
Guys, down here with Lou Gracer, who has been charged with the defense this week for the East. Nice work so far.
The guys have really done a great job of hustling, pursuing, gang tackling, and we're trying to rotate a lot of kids to keep them fresh, and I think that's paying off too.
This is unusual. You're pitching a shutout in an 8-man All-Star game.
Very unusual. I remember a game I won one time, 61-60. So I'll take a shutout.
Thanks, Lou.
Well, you're right. It is very rare to see these zeros on the board this late in the game, but the West is moving right now. They'll face short yardage situation on 4th down and down 25 after this carry. You've got to figure that the West will indeed go for it.
Eric Weeman again on that play, filling the hole from his linebacker spot. We've called his name a lot here. I'm from Howells, Nebraska. 6'4", 210 pounds. 2-time first-team All-State player. Both sides of the ball, so he's had a great career thus far and headed to South Dakota to play football up there on a scholarship.
Tyler Kester, the quarterback, 4th down and 2 from the 21-yard line of the East. Up the middle they go to Brad Marcy, and he is going to be very close, and I think he's a little short.
Depends on the spot, but I think he is, Kevin, even from what we're looking at right now. I think he's short of the first down. Yes, indeed he is. It's going to go over.
How about this East defense today, stopping again on 4th and short and forcing the turnover on downs.
We saw a reverse play about 3 plays ago. The West ran the reverse, trying to counter that defense. Let's go down Larry Putney. Larry?
Randy, you and Lou are charged with the defense this week. Did Verb can throw you over on the defense that I've handled in the offense? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, basically. You know, the head coach gets to play with his toy first. But that's okay. As you can see, I kind of like the defensive side.
You've done a nice job with your toy.
Well, I'm having fun. Of course, with these guys, you know, you can't hardly go wrong. You know, anything you run out there looks pretty good.
It's looked really good so far. Nice job, Randy.
Thank you.
Randy Jess, he's a lot of fun. The head coach at Meridian High School, who has certainly had a great time this week with these kids. No question about that.
Well, he's 22 years at Meridian, and son Jared played here back in '93. So he's had experience with this game before. He understands why this game does what it does, and very happy to be here. We had a little movement on that far side over there. I think the tight end moving that time.
Cost the East 5 yards instead of 2nd and 9, 2nd and 14. Move it from the 20 to the 15-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down. Well, here's where all of these all-stars are from. And you can see from the upper corners of the western part of our state to almost down to the southeastern tip of Nebraska and all points in between. They drag all-stars in from everywhere. This really is representative of the entire state of Nebraska.
Good cross-section. Another penalty now on the East team.
TJ Bond started moving before the rest of his teammates did.
TJ's been blocking so well today. He just wanted to try to get another little angle on the guy across in the green jersey and got a little quick start there. But that's what's really nice about this football game, Kevin. You're right. It covers north to south, east to west in terms of participation. And it's not just one side of the state. It's the whole state. Good to see that.
2nd and 19 now, back from the 9-yard line. Happ just on the move around that right side, and he picks up some decent yardage out near the 17-yard line. Pickup of nearly 8 yards on the carry for Mitch Happ out of Homer, Nebraska. 650 yards rushing a year ago. He'll add to rushing yardage here.
Faking the play action to the right side and peeling back to the left, led by Preston Crumley down there from his guard spot, and that's a good guy to be behind. Crumley at 6'5" and 290. You let him clear the way and make your cut.
And
Mitch
that's
Happ.
the end of the 3rd quarter.
Mitch Happ takes it into the 4th quarter for the East team.
End of 3 in Hastings. 25-0. The East leading the West.
Programming on NETV is provided in part by Education Quest Foundation. For 16 years, Education Quest has offered free college planning services. These services include scholarship searches, student loan information, college selection, and help with completing financial aid applications. Education Quest is located in Kearney, Lincoln, and Omaha. Appointments are available at 800-666-3721.
You're watching NETV and NETV Digital Television, a service of Nebraska Educational Telecommunications.
3rd down and 13 of the East All-Stars out of the shotgun. The snap is low. Gotro picks it up and makes some positive yardage out of the play. A low snap. They went 3 wide receivers. The snap was low, and Gotro takes it out to the 21-yard line on 3rd and long. Larry Putney has a report on the health of the West's Ira Spanel.
Well, he's being looked at right now, Kevin, and I just talked to him. He said it was his shoulder. He reached out, stretched out to try to block that punt and then landed. He said he heard a pop and a crack, and then it said it was extremely painful after that. And I asked him about rodeo. He said he is competing here in the rodeo next week. He's sitting 3rd in steer in the state and really looking forward to competing next week.
Now, hopefully this does not change his status in rodeo next week. Hate to see that happen as Crook punts it away with the wind at his back. That one angling toward the side and out of bounds. So the West All-Stars will get it back, trying to put something together. Should have decent field position as they start over once again here at the start of the 4th quarter. Speaking of rodeo, Ira Spanel and the rest of Nebraska ETV will be with the high school rodeo finals next week, live from the Adams County Fairgrounds right here in Hastings, as you see some of the young high school athletes all across this state wrapping up their high school rodeo season and trying to qualify for the national rodeo finals. It's the high school rodeo, 2003 high school rodeo, Sunday, June 29th, right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports.
Just hope that Spot will be able to compete and participate, with that shoulder being what it is. Back to live action here, Kevin.
Kester on 1st down, a carry. Gain of maybe a yard on the play as he tried to just sweep it around that right side and stopped right near the line of scrimmage.
Trying to get outside, get to the corner. But again, this East team defense just too tough. And I think the West is probably going to need to do what they were doing a little bit earlier in the 3rd quarter, and that is get to the flanks with the passes and maybe run a little reverse here and there and try to loosen up that defense, use a little misdirection to confuse that defense, because this East team defense is outstanding today.
Kester over the middle. The pass is pulled in at the 10-yard line. The catch made by Chris Williams, and 1st and goal now for the West.
Straight corner post pattern up the middle by Williams. And Cole Richardson's on the coverage here. Nice time to throw the football. Good delivery into a very, very tough wind. And Richardson beat by about 2 or 3 steps there.
Ball just inside.
Well done, well executed, and that's what you needed to get the offense going as they get it inside the 10-yard line.
First down and goal from the 9, the West, with their best opportunity of the day to score. Kester fumbles the ball. It's loose on the field, and the East All-Stars have it. Never got the ball into the hands of his running back. It kicked forward, and the East recovers the fumble, picking it up for the East All-Stars, Cody Millard.
Ball slipped out of the hands of Kester. He never had the football. That was Bryce Johnson trying to connect up with Kester. Never had it. It hit right off his knee or his instep, and then bounded right into the secondary where the East recovered. So the West squanders a great opportunity here with 10 minutes left, 10:13 left in the final quarter.
From the 6 on first down, Gautreau to throw, going over the middle. Hans is out there, incomplete. Good coverage by Dan Pelster, who just got in the way of Hans enough to let that pass fall incomplete.
Pelster's had good coverage all day. This is just a single receiver going out from the formation. Play action, faking it to Bond up there. And now let it rip. And again, Pelster there, right there. Just he got his hands in the way of the receiver of Hans, and just basically, well, he didn't knock it away, but he took the concentration of Hans away.
Second down and 10 from the 7-yard line on the toss. Rohr looking for running room, and Chase Rohr out near the 10-yard line. Blake Schuler along with Max Korb in on the stop of Rohr after a gain of a couple. They'll mark it out at the 10, so 3 yards on the gain. And third down and 7 now for the East. Under 10 minutes remaining, fourth quarter, and the East All-Stars in control, 25-0 the lead.
Andy Verbka feeling good about this ball game now with 9:36 and counting. He's up by 25, actually a shutout now, 25-0.
Gautreau out of the gun on third down. The shovel pass, but not a lot of running room there, as a good play made by Blake Schuler would not let Justin Hans get away, and Schuler read that play beautifully.
Hans trying to make something out of it. You see him come back right there. Good block up front. Excellent blocking up front all the way. Who is that? That's 53. That's Dustin Fricky blocking Homestead. The big guy up front doing a great job of it. As Hans, well, he's short of the first down by about 2, maybe 3 yards. Brings up another East punt.
Brook will punt with that wind at his back again. 9:22 remaining in the fourth. And a boomer by Brook. What a shot. A blast off his foot. It's fumbled and picked up by Dan Pelster, saving the day for the West as he falls on it at the 19-yard line. Well, we're back to the football action on July 19th as Nebraska ETV presents the Nebraska Shrine Bowl Classic from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. It's the top football athletes in the state competing in this annual Gridiron Classic. Don't miss it. It's the Nebraska Shrine Bowl coming up in July, right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports. Always fun to get the football season going in Nebraska. We started it 2 weeks ago in Scottsbluff and here in Hastings. Then it'll end in Lincoln, at least for the high school all-star games in the season. And it's intercepted. The first pass intercepted by Cole Richardson, and the East gets it right back.
Trying to go to Chris Williams again. He made that long catch in the last series. This time, Richardson is not beat. He breaks the ball perfectly from that safety spot and intercepts the pass. Cole Richardson out of Bancroft Rosalie, 6'2", 180 pounds, headed to Nebraska Wesleyan this year, study engineering, and he engineered that play very nicely.
9:07 to go, and now the East with good field position in West territory at the 34. First down and 10. Gautreau wants to throw over the middle. Hans is there and right through his hands, incomplete.
Lots of mustard on this pass right now from Gautreau as Hans split the defenders back there. It's one thing about in the 8-man game, you can check the receivers. Here we go again as Gautreau lets it fly. And there's, again, it's a little bit tall, but this is a ball that Hans will tell you I should catch it, and goes right out of his hands. But again, you're going to face pretty much double coverage a lot back there in that secondary. As the blitz looks like it's coming, indeed it is.
Gautreau gets it off just as he's hit Kurtenbach around the corner, and Nick Kurtenbach with a gain of 7 yards run out of bounds near the 26-yard line. Give him 8 yards on the carry. 3rd and 2 coming for the East.
Pressure right there by Tyler Kester. And Gocho lucky to get the pitch off because Kester was right there to make the play to put the pressure on. Ends up getting it upfield, 3rd down, and call it a couple of yards.
8.5 to play, 25-0 East with the lead as they continue to move at the 26 of the West. 3rd and 2. Gautreaux. He'll keep it himself, and Elliot Gautreaux is going to have the first down. 2nd effort, 3rd effort by Gautreaux, and he's finally brought down at the 22-yard line. He would not quit. Took 5 guys from the West to bring Gautreaux down, but a first down for the East.
Just stretch it out here, try to just weave his way through. There you see Clint Norman from Crawford trying to bring him down, and then the big boy comes in and things stop even further. And he finally goes down, the big boy being Ben Olmstead at 295.
25-0. Gautreaux with a first down and 10 for the East. On the toss, Kurtenbach looking for some running room, trying to get the corner. Ball pops free. It's loose on the turf. A lot of green jerseys around, and I believe the West got it. And they do. They recover the fumble, and the West turns away the East.
Very aggressive play by the West defense that time. He stuffed the blocking right here. You see right there, that's Marcus Holland that stuffs the blocking, takes everybody out of the picture, and then creates some opportunity for his teammates. And that results in a fumble by the East team, and the West picks it up now. They've got about 7 minutes and 40-some seconds left here in the ball game. 25-0. They're going to need some real quick hurry-up scores to get themselves back in it.
Pelster, the guy that got it for the West All-Stars. Conant trying to find some running room. None there, as the East has been so tough all day against the run, and the East just not being fooled at all by what the West is trying to do.
Boy, and Eric Weeman just continues to shine. There you see again, they're trying to block Tom Schweethelm. That doesn't work. He gets in on the play. Weeman's over there. Those two guys wrap it up and do a great job, as they have been doing all afternoon.
Time becoming a major issue for the West All-Stars with 7:15 to play, trailing 25-0. 2nd and 9. Conant to throw, going into that wind. A wobbler down the sideline, incomplete. Had 2 guys out there, Tyler Kester and Luke Vogel, both in the vicinity, but the pass incomplete.
Has some time to throw here. Good spin move over there by Tyson Bisek to put pressure back on the quarterback, but again, throwing it right into coverage. Let's go down to Larry. Larry?
Guys, down here with Andrew Boxen of the East, and this is the all-star time of year. You're playing in the football game today. What are you doing today?
I'm playing in the Southeast Nebraska basketball game.
Both?
Both.
Getting worried about being a little worn out?
Yeah, kind of, but coach has kind of been saving me here, and I haven't played too much, so should be fresh to go.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's a full day's work. Football, then basketball. You ought to sleep well tonight. Or eat well.
Eat well and have maybe a lot of Gatorade in between. But my goodness, what a schedule he has for the day. But you know what? He's bulletproof. He's a youngster right now. He can get it done. See the pass right there. The receiver trying to take that defensive back to the inside and then break it to the outside. That was Eric Brooks trying to get it done over there.
4th down and 9, and punt time coming for the West All-Stars. Low snap. Kester gets it off. A wobbler into that stiff wind. Take a good hop for the West All-Stars and die right around the 20-yard line.
Punt is down on the 20-yard line.
Well, if you'd like a VHS copy or DVD of the game you're seeing today, log on to mynptv.org and click on the sports link or call 800-228-4630. NETV is Nebraska's home for sports. 6 minutes, 49 seconds remaining, 4th quarter. 25-0, the East with the lead. Not a lot of action scoring-wise here in the second half. Just a safety by the East All-Stars to pad that lead, which they held at halftime of 23-0. From the 20, first down and 10 yards to go. Mitch Happ, the quarterback, hands it off. Running room along the sideline for Andrew Boxa. Using a little of that energy he might need for the basketball game tonight. Boxa picks up a few yards down the sideline out near the 28-yard line. give him 8 yards on first down.
Good block there by Dustin Fricke as he pulled from the right side, again on the trap play. Kicks that defender out, and Boxa takes it up inside, almost picks up that first down. Boxa from Diller Odell, 6 foot. There you see the numbers. They'll be headed to Kearney this fall, walk on the football team.
2nd and 2 from the 28 after the 8-yard run by Boxa. The toss. Cody Millard looking for room, and Millard will have the first down, tripped up by Lane Ford. But Millard takes it out near the 35-yard line. Good gain of 6 for Cody Millard, and another first down for the East.
Cody Millard, Clay center, and again, you see the line play up front there. Good work. 47 is Tyson Misek. He a good block to lead that play. Also 57, Preston Crumley. Again, that whole lineup there for that East team, offensively and defensively today, has just been outstanding.
On first down and 10 from the 34. The toss to Boxa. Boxa around that far side, and he is wrapped up nicely by Tyler Kester, coming in to help Blake Schuler to finish him off.
Tyler Kester leading the tackle.
2nd down coming up for the East All-Stars. Andy Verbka telling us earlier in the week about a very interesting story that occurred during camp. I guess you could say a stinky story. We'll let Andy Verbka tell about the tale of what happened at camp.
Earlier this week, during one of the practices, we had a skunk wander out onto the field. So, and we don't know, I think he was a little sick, but he wandered into practice and kind of shook everybody up. So my son, he wanted to go to town and get stickers of a skunk to put on everybody's helmet. And they kind of had the joke going that we were the skunk team for a while, but that kind of went away, which I'm glad it did. But that was one thing I think the boys will remember, the skunk wandering through practice.
Marcus Holan on the sack there of Mitch Happ. They haven't been anything close to stinky today. They've been very good.
You know, when you think about it, Kevin, this East team has skunked the West as far as score goes. They've hung the big 0. So a little, foreshadowing there by whatever the skunk was.
By the crazy 6 skunk that wandered onto the field.
Beware of the black and white stripe, you know, as the timeout is now taken by the East.
We do understand from unnamed sources that that 6 skunk is no longer with us. The skunk has moved on to wherever skunks go when they pass on. 25-0 the East leading the West as we have a timeout by the East All-Stars. And Andy Verbka looking for skunks and looking for the answer to how to run this game out and take a win here in the 8-man All-Star game. His team has played exceptional football today, especially defensively.
Yeah, that's the key as we listen in here to Andy talking with his boys.
All right, let's go. Sweep right. Halfback pass, right? It's a backside in. Okay, who's it going to be? Jeff. Okay. All right, now, hey, I need max protection up front. Nobody gets through. All right, we pick everybody. Kind of zone block. Come on, let's go. Hey, boys. Let's end it on a roll. All right, let's go.
That's what we like to hear, a little razzle-dazzle.
Amen. But that's kind of an indication right there how a coach will work with his players. You know, hey, guys, we need max protection up front. Come on, we can get it done here. That goes on quite a bit in that huddle. We need, you know, that kind of talk, that sort of confidence talk makes a play work.
3rd down and 15. Let's see the razzle-dazzle here. Kurtenbach wants to throw, and down he goes. Great coverage downfield by the West defense. We've talked about the East defense today, but let's tip the cap to the secondary of the West All-Stars. They've done a great job all day long today.
Namely Lane Ford and Dan Pelster, who are very instrumental in this play. They had the deep coverage this time. No chance at all. They had the receiver double teamed down the field all the way. Pelster in particular has played a great game back there in the secondary. Again, no chance at all. It results in that loss on the play, and come up here with the 4th down and a kick.
Crook will punt it away one more time. Gets off a good kick again with pressure coming. It's taken by Pelster at the 12-yard line. Pelster to the 20. Down the sideline to the 30. Pelster with running room. Beats the kicker. No, he cannot. Crook got him around the ankles at the 30-yard line. Crook was the last man to beat, and Crook makes the shutout-saving tackle.
Pelster, good footwork when he fields the punt here. Watch this. This is a great shot. You're going to see him where he's going to look like he's going to maybe go up inside there, and now let's cut it back, and he has everybody leaning to the inside. That was Trent Stevens and also Cody Millard on the play there. Unfortunately, Crook is there to make the tackle and push him out of bounds.
32-yard line is where they spot it. So first down and 10 from there. 4:08 remaining. 25-0. The East with the lead. The give goes right up the middle to Clint Norman, the Crawford graduate, Crawford, Nebraska native, who goes forward for a couple of yards to the 30-yard line. They'll mark him at the 29, so 3 on the carry for Clint Norman.
Trying to run it right over Isaac Hazing again. Big, strong young man out of Clearwater. Derek Hakey on the tackle that time, and a good job of closing down the line of scrimmage by Hakey and making the play.
2nd and 7 from the 29. Going over the left side, Kester. He'll pick up yardage down to the 24-yard line. 5 yards on the carry for Kester. 3rd and short now for the West All-Stars.
3rd down, 2 yards to go.
Fixing up the helmets here late in the game, making sure everybody's ready to go. Those stickers you were talking about, Abe.
Yeah, the decals and all the marks, too. It's kind of a source of pride with every football player to see how many of those little crashy marks you can have, little squashed decals and grooves in your helmet. And of course it pays the price up inside there on your skull. But you know, again, it's sort of a badge of courage with a lot of football players. My helmet was pretty clean.
There's another helmet there with 18,000 different stickers. The
Texas
Longhorns. 4th down, flags fly, and down on the play goes Bryce Johnson. See where they spot it. We'll see what the flag's all about. It's very close to a first down on 4th and short with 2:34 remaining, but the flag is down right near the 20-yard line as the officials sort it out. And we'll get the call in just a moment, see what the West will be doing here.
Just checking about that decal. That's Rushville. They are the Longhorns, so I suspect that decal is from Rushville. Certainly looks familiar. That's a Texas Longhorn as Dave Schenk signals in.
Penalty against the East defense. And so this should give the West a first down opportunity here, a chance to keep the drive alive and maybe thwart the shutout. But the East All-Stars are pitching right now with 2:34 to play. And you know that East team, they want this shutout now.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it, even though it's, again, all-star game. But, again, that's the pride thing. We talked about the helmet as we look here. And that was a great play up inside there. I think that was Fricky. Put the pressure on the quarterback. And good pursuit there by Justin Masley to make the play there. But Fricky was there on the quarterback immediately, number 53. He's kind of the silent warrior there today, doing a fine job of stacking up that middle. So they get the first down. So let's see if they throw it in the end zone 4 times here, Kevin.
From the 18, Conant in trouble, gets away from one pursuer. Conant on the run. Conant has some room at the 10. Conant shimmy shake to the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. First and goal for the West All-Stars, and a great run from Jason Conant.
Good thing that Tom Schweedhelm was over there to make the play, as Conant just, well, he works this play pretty much on himself. He avoids a tackle right there. I think that was Mysick. And missed a tackle there, another missed tackle there, and now Schweedhelm, 45, is going to finish it off. Let's see. There were 2 other players that came in quickly. They're in and out of the play, but Schweedhelm finished it off. And, man, they're right down there now, and that shutout is in jeopardy.
First down and goal, Marcy, the single setback, Kester in motion. Marcy fumbles the football, and it's recovered by the East All-Stars. Nick Kurtenbach pounces on top of the ball, and for the 2nd time in as many trips, the West fumbles inside the 10.
Opportunities inside the 10, and again, they go away. Again, it was a poor exchange right there, and then a good hit over there. Couldn't quite catch the number, but Fricky was right there also to make the play, but a good hit on the ball carrier to make that separation complete. So now the East defense, and Kevin, we've talked about East defense all day. There you see the numbers as far as turnovers go, and that's, again, that's +3 for the West. But again, 2 of those coming in touchdown territory. So again, that East team defense just stepping up and getting it done.
First down and 10, and flags fly. And a penalty will be called here. We've got the MVPs. They've been handed to us.
We certainly have. Justin Hans is the MVP from Wynot on offense. And on defense, again, we have co-winners for MVP there. Justin Masney from Howells and Eric Weeman also from Howells. So they split it on defense. Congratulations to those youngsters. A great job today by each of those folks, as we've seen.
Seems fitting that the way the defense is played today, there ought to be a dual MVP. Fumbled ball, picked up, and running on the play is Andrew Baxa. And Baxa with running room across the 20 and out of bounds near the 22-yard line. Little trickery there by the East All-Stars, and Baxa able to make it for a big gain.
Andrew Baxa from Diller Odell headed to Kearney this fall, and again, he takes a play that looked like it was going to be a nothing play, and he turns it into something, turns it into a big something as the ball's kind of kicked around right there. And here we go, everybody in hot pursuit. Baxa avoids a tackle there, and now gets it up to, well, close to the 20-yard, well, beyond the 20-yard line. Call it about the 22.
Looked like one of the Uski plays that used to be run in Lincoln. And movement along the line as Jeff Seagren was ready to move his way forward and could not get there.
Yeah, everybody dancing on that play. Seagren on the left side at the lower part of the screen, at the top of the screen, defense moving. So procedure call on the East team. They'll back it up 5.
Choppy finish to this pretty well played football game by the East All-Stars. Some penalties. The fumbles by the West have really been costly. 2 times inside the 10 in the last 2 trips, and both times fumbled footballs. Carry there by Chase Rohr. Takes it from the 17 out to the 22 near the initial line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10 for the East as they just try to run this one out with 1:35 to play.
Good pursuit by the West team. There again, they're still staying after it, as you see. Dan Pelster there coming in to help out on the tackle along with a host of other green jerseys. He has played a whale of a game too from his secondary spot today as the East team huddles up and gets ready to break. That's Preston Crumley, 57 right there, the 290-pounder we've talked about all afternoon, headed to South Dakota State University on a scholarship. You'll hear more from him as time moves along.
Baxa on the carry on 2nd down, picking his way forward and can't get away from Dan Pelster. And Pelster's had a whale of a game in that secondary for the West defense. He has been very active. Also, we've heard a lot of Tom Point and Lane Ford on that West side.
Absolutely, Kevin. And Pelster in particular, good run support as we saw there. And then also excellent coverage in the secondary. We've seen him knock down 2 or 3 passes here this afternoon. So Pelster is enlisted in the Army, as I mentioned earlier, and he'll be coming back after a couple of years serving his country to play at UNK.
Carry on the play by Kurtenbach. Very little running room with 20 seconds remaining, but not looking for much in the way of running room, looking to keep it inbounds and keep this one running, and they don't have to snap it again. The East All-Stars in this 8-man All-Star game. Kurtenbach with the final carry likely of this ball game.
One more time as Pelster is there. A very, very competitive young man, and you make no mistake about it. His dad is uncle were boxers, boxing the Golden Gloves, and he takes a little bit of that instinct into that secondary.
The final score, a shutout today, 25-0. The East All-Stars blank the West here in this 2003 8-man All-Star football game. Normally, you don't think about a great amount of defense when you see an 8-man game, Abe, but today, the East All-Stars defensively were at the top of their game.
They really were, Kevin. They controlled everything up front. They also created turnovers when they needed to get those done, and recovered those 2 fumbles inside the 10-yard line, eliminating any scoring opportunity for the West. But that East team defense at all phases of the game here this afternoon really dominated. So yeah, that's why the East team did what they did today, shut out this West team and won this football game in handy order. And the East also surprised on offense. We thought it would probably be just strictly maybe a ground game, but Andy Verka crossed up everybody, threw the ball a little bit, ran the ball well, and overall East well done.
25-0. The East All-Stars beat the West in the 8-man All-Star game in Hastings.
Programming on NETV is provided in part by Bryan LGH Medical Center in Lincoln, nationally recognized by AARP for its work in orthopedics. Bryan LGH also received nationwide acclaim for its success in cardiovascular services. And the medical center has been recognized nationally for its support of working mothers. Bryan LGH, the first name in healthcare.
Grandpa, wake up. Oh, it's story time. We'll read the story about the big dog. Yes, on the way to school.
Always there when you need us. Nebraska Public Power District, together with your local public power utility.
You're watching NETV and NETV Digital Television, a service of Nebraska Educational Telecommunications.
For the latest Nebraska news, listen to NPRN, the Nebraska Public Radio Network. NPR's Morning Edition gives you news from around the world, and NPR's award-winning reporters have events from here at home. Newscasts on the hour keep you updated throughout the day, and on your drive home, it's All Things Considered. Listen to NPRN on your radio or on your computer at nprn.org. NPRN, your one source for Nebraska, national, and international news.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is NETV and NETV Digital Television.
NETV sports coverage of the Nebraska 8-man All-Star football game from Hastings is brought to you in part by NPPD, always there when you need us. By Bryan LGH Medical Center, the first name in heart care. By ACE, the Public Alliance for Community Energy, your hometown choice for natural gas. And by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, community grants, and college planning services. 25-0, the East All-Stars with the win today over the West All-Stars, and Larry Putney is down on the field with the MVPs of today's game.
Well, the defensive MVP is to my right. The offensive MVP will begin with him, Justin Hahns. The big screen pass for a touchdown. It really kind of separated the score. Got you guys going. Talk about that play.
Yeah, well, Hap came out of center, and I was looking at him when I dropped back, and I saw that he was under a lot of pressure, and he came through for us and got me a great pass, and we had a whole bunch of guys out in front lead blocking for me, and from there it was easy.
Really just a day of big plays for you guys.
Yes, it was. We had a lot of great blocking, and the team just came together. I mean, the whole week of practice, we just gelled. That's what Coach said before the week started. He said the team that gels the most is going to be the team that comes out on top, and that's what we did.
Congratulations. Our defensive MVPs, Eric Weeman, Justin Massey, teammates. How nice is this?
It's great. It's even better to play again in an all-star together. It's awesome.
And then to be co-MVPs. Talk about the shutout. I mean, that's surprising in an all-star game.
Yeah, our defense was a very good scheme, and we just flew around, knocked heads, and came out on top and got a shutout, so I guess.
So you guys ended up on the same side of the ball here. Did you talk about that? Did you guys want to play on the defensive side?
Just the way it ended up. It's the way the coach wanted it and everything, and it was real fun to be able to play together on defense again.
So obviously this is special, but that state championship, something you probably never forget.
Yep. The rings, I don't know. There's no words to describe that. But this was a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people and got a lot of friendships now. So
it was great seeing you guys down at the state championship, and fun watching you play there, and just as special watching you play today. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Kevin, Adrian, back to you guys.
Now two high school teammates that end up as co-MVPs today on the defensive side of the ball. And Weeman was just all over the field in the championship game. We saw him very active here again today. He's just one of those guys whose motor never seems to stop.
Kevin, I tell you, he's a quality football player. He's headed to the University of South Dakota on a scholarship. They're getting an excellent player. He probably put on 15, 20 pounds. They added that 210 frame he has now, so we'll expect some great things out of him. And Masney headed to Southeast Community College in Lincoln. Again, part of that state championship, Howells dynasty up there that head coach Mike Spears has put together. Great to see that happen. And I think Larry Putney now has the winning coach. Let's go down and to Larry.
Andy Verbka joins us. You know, he's the president of this 8-man association all-star game. Are you just going to pencil your name in as coach every year now?
No, this is it. I don't know if my body and my nerves could take it for another year. It's just a lot of fun, though. I mean, I said I make it more nerve-wracking than it needs to be with the players you got. It's, you know, they do all the work. It's just call the play and let them do it.
It really was fun. A big play kind of day for you guys.
Yeah, well, and you know, they were so aggressive that screen pass and Nick breaking that long run. You know, we get past them, you know, we're gone. And we knew they were probably going to be aggressive. And we talked all week that we didn't know who was going to make the big play for us. You know, we had 5, 6, 7 guys that could do it and a couple that I didn't think would. And, you know, Nick Kurtenbach, I thought Justin Hans would come up big and make a big play for us here or there. But Nick, you know, was one of those guys he kind of got hurt early in the week and came back and had a big play.
And then Weeman and Mastny, the high school teammates, co-MVPs, and defensively, and you pitched a shutout.
Oh, yeah. I used to coach at Howells, you know, years ago. So, no, you know, those two guys are just great ball players, and you put them together out there on the field. And I thought the entire defense had a great day. You know, I mean, second half, that's what we did. We played defense, and they did it. They stepped up, you know, shut them out, kept them out of the end zone. Just a lot of fun.
Andy, thanks very much for all your help.
Hey, thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks for covering us.
You bet. Great game. Guys, back to you.
Andy Verbka, very happy with the way his team played, very happy with the win today. 25-0, a shutout in the 8-man All-Star game. Very, very impressive performance today. Once again, our final score, the East 25, the West 0. For Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney, and the entire NETV sports production crew, I'm Kevin Kugler. So long from Hastings College in Hastings, Nebraska.